Oh no, the thought occurs to me. There's one critical weakness with streaming Star Wars games. You want to guess what that is?
The music?
The music. We got clipped for that last stream. I made the joke. Every time I play Halo 4, I get punished, and the punishment is that soundtrack is copywritten.
Nice.
We had that issue.
That's one way to control the narrative.
Yeah. Well, so it's like 343 sucks at their job so much they didn't even they didn't even get the music in a way where they would like get to keep it. So I don't know the super specifics of the arrangement, but I'm not entirely convinced they can even like still use it or sell it.
Yeah, probably. Now, for me, it's that Forza Horizon stream that I did. That one is just a gift that keeps on giving. I got even more copyright claims on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in streamer mode.
Yeah, donations will be appreciated for to help make up for the loss in ad revenue. The good news is with the Halo 4 stuff, they're one of those companies that just doesn't put ads on it. So, mandatory ad-free experience, woohoo. Ad-free in an actually ad-free way, because if you don't turn ads on, YouTube will do it for you. But if someone turns your ads off, then it stays ad-free.
Yeah.
But so there's no CRT cam yet, and that's because we've had a hardware upgrade. We've got a new camera, and unfortunately I don't have a dummy battery for it yet, so it could die midstream. That'll be fixed next week, but I'm trying to maximize how much we see it, but I'm excited to show it off. But yeah, so I also fixed the super chats, so now they pop up. So no more mystery super chats. But I kept it in moderation. I didn't turn on the text to speech. Do you ever watch streams with text to speech super chats?
Yeah.
They can suck sometimes. It really depends on how funny the chat is.
Yes. Did I ever finish the sequel trilogy? Good God, no.
Had the focus dialed in before the stream. And now I don't think it's even like lined up right. Oh, I hope high dynamic is good enough. I was not able to figure out color balancing it. But what is that?
No.
I feel like it. You know what's bugging me? I don't think it's a level.
Yeah. It's a little off kilter there. So, Pat, are you hyped for Avowed 2? Asks chat. I heard Obsidian might be in some trouble, along
Well,
with
we're
the
gonna
rest of.
we're gonna hear about it today because in addition we're watching the Jason Schreier thing. Now he is a bit of a hack, but I feel like it defaulted to what chat would have wanted us to play anyways.
Oh, yes.
We need our skimpy. Oh, there we go. Our skimpiest possible. The question is, what skin color does chat prefer?
Oh, my. Oh, my. I think we got to go with Dunmore Purple.
Yeah, blue and purple are very popular picks. So bisexual lightsaber. Jedi Academy is a game that kind of just starts. It's not quite.
You mean they don't have like a 2-hour-long tutorial?
Yeah, well, it's the game. It's one of those games that justifies. Hang on. No Hans Zimmer. God, the era before streamer mode.
We'll be arriving at the academy in just a few minutes. That would be so great.
Time to go with the blue of the CRT.
Aren't you excited? We're going to be Jedi.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if like are the blue electrons just getting through the phosphor screen and hitting the camera sensor?
I wouldn't worry about that.
I can't help it. I want to make a good impression.
You seem really nervous.
Aren't you?
Oh my,
I mean,
that
why would you be?
that
You
is a
already have
shot.
lightsaber, so you're probably way ahead of me. I'm Rush, by the way.
Sorry, so when I was planning what stream I was gonna do,
What's your name?
the choice was between I thought Battlefront 2 and Jedi Outcast
Well, it's
2.
kind of a long story.
It turns out that I own Academy, not Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast. It looks blue on the CRT anyway. You're not in here. You don't know. It looks good on the CRT is what it looks like.
I think the CRT is still not in frame perfectly. You gotta.
No, that's what it looks like. It's got letterboxing on the cutscene. So
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see.
We'll meet you there.
fucking Star Wars and their stupid. I'm gonna be cinematographic. De-blues your Star Wars. Yeah, it's just like at some point I wanted to get the new camera first so that then I can just take a screenshot of it, make a LUT and import that.
Make your way to the temple. The shuttle will meet us there.
It's like that's the next step of fixing it.
I'm stuck. Can you help?
Hold on, Rosh. I'm on my way.
Because I must emphasize, the color space of the CRT is the exact same right now as the color space of the TV. It's just at some point in the process, it turns blue. God, I am noticing that this game does not run very well.
Maybe you can use your lightsaber to cut those trees down and make a bridge.
There you go.
Not
There you go,
even 30
chatter. I
FPS.
honored you. Uh-oh. The chatter was saying they killed themselves on the tree, so
I'm stuck.
I was like, let's see how easy that is to
I'm on my
do.
way.
Jade, see if you can make your way around.
Yeah, okay.
You can use your lightsaber to cut those trees down and make
I
a
was
bridge.
not anticipating that the frame rate would not be good.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do about that. Chatter wants to know what started this CRT business.
I think it was a guy in Japan. Bro, they are shrekking me. Okay, you can do lightsaber throws, but holy shit. I have seen people glazing the Xbox version of this game. I didn't realize it runs like absolute ass. I do too. The colors are richer on the CRT. It's just not being captured very well by this setup.
Can you help?
Hold on, Rosh. I'm on my way.
Jade.
I
see
was
if you can
showing
make your
off
way around. Maybe you can use your lightsaber to cut those
I was
trees
showing
down
it
and
off
make a
on
bridge.
x.com, formerly known as Twitter. Halo CE, like a direct side by side,
Maybe you can use your
Yeah.
lightsaber to cut those trees down and make a
and
bridge.
Halo CE looks very flat if it's not played on a CRT.
Maybe you can use your lightsaber to cut those trees down and make a bridge.
Yeah, Rosh, I get it.
Yeah,
It
I
was
think they
weird.
were- Bungie was
Thanks,
using
Jade.
was
Let's get
kind
to
of
the temple.
leaning in on the contrast of the different colors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Especially with how certain things just glow in that game, like the alien blood and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I play it when I just I just wiped out Rosh. Holy shit. So it like light sources in Halo CE, there'll be like a dot surrounded by like a little fog. I'm sure you can visualize what that kind of looks like.
Can you help?
Mm-hmm.
Versus when you play it on a CRT, it looks like an actual glowing light source.
Jade,
So like, let's
see
look
if
at
you
some
can make your way
fire.
around there. Maybe you can use your lightsaber to cut those trees down and make a bridge. Thanks, Jade.
That's actually
Let's get
crazy
to the
for this
temple.
fidelity. Yeah, like it's kind of surprising. And there's other issues with it too. Yeah, people were glazing the Xbox version of this port. And I think that
Why
is
is that?
nostalgia talking. Is there a way you can make the CRT the main screen? The issue with making the CRT the main screen is that you're trying to compare what it looks like on your screen to what it looks like on this display. And so you can't make the CRT the main display and have the contrast between the two, if that makes sense. Hello? This is actually kind of a shit experience. Holy shit. Yeah, on PC I'd be done with this tutorial in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. If it was on PC as well.
Yeah, I've reviewed it. I said in the video, and I think this is true. Outcast is better than Academy. Academy is remembered more fondly, but like when you actually look at it, it is objectively a worse game.
Great, let's go.
You didn't do a review of Outcast though, right?
No, it was both in one video. Because they're
Oh.
very similar. So like it's the same engine, the same mechanics, but the level design and the storytelling are so much better in Outcast than in Academy. Academy just is more fondly remembered.
That nostalgia.
Well, what it actually is Academy starts you with the lightsaber.
Stormtroopers in the clearing.
Ah.
Maybe you should check it out. You're the one with the lightsaber.
There's a weird
after all.
delay too, and I don't know if that's being introduced by the capture card or what.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. It's very brief though.
Let me see if I can notice like input lag. No, there's no input lag on controls. Thrilling
Jedi
lightsaber
Academy
battle.
must be remembered for multiplayer.
Come get me, Jedi.
Yeah, but even now, like in the modern day, like Movie Battles 2, which is based on Academy, sure, but that's only because Academy is a slightly more modern version of Outcast. You don't actually play Academy's multiplayer. So he learned for a bit. You like our thrilling lightsaber action? Let me save here. I want to get into like the general missions, and then we'll start watching Mr. Schreier talk about Xbox.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I was considering sitting this one out so I could finish some work, but then
Right.
you hit me with the, oh, I want to watch this, and I was just like, oh, I gotta be there for that.
yeah. Schreier's a hack,
you know
but
how
he's
to hook me every week.
Yeah. I'm bringing him back every week. He's a bit of a hack. Like, I don't know how he ever got away with the like withholding the sexual harassment stuff that was going on at Blizzard to sell a book. Like, there's no way that he should have been allowed to get away with that. And then also, but he's knowledgeable and he's got like the contacts that he
Yeah.
needs to actually
Well, yeah,
know
that's-
useful information.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is he has those insider connections, and he's not afraid to actually use them to, you know, give people information.
What?
So it's rather telling that we have one game journalist in the entire industry.
What? Who are you?
Kyle Katarn, at your service.
Yeah, hell yeah, Kyle Katarn, let's go.
What made Jason
kind of
start a
hoping you
YouTube
could
channel
tell us.
anyways? Probably the just changing of the
I saw a huge flash of light and ran over to find you. Just lying
media
unconscious.
landscape. Like, anybody in the industry can see the writing on the
I
wall
saw three
that
people.
legacy
One was holding
media
some
is
sort of
pretty much
scepter
dead
and
at this
glowing.
point.
That's
So
all I can remember.
A scepter.
got to get onto the YouTubes and the Twitch and
Able to stand?
Yeah.
the Facebook live stream.
I sense a disturbance in the force.
You always sense a disturbance in the Force.
Who's this character?
I sense it too.
This
It could just be
Luke
residual
Skywalker.
dark side aura from this temple.
Perhaps. Kyle, why don't you?
Stay here and investigate? I'd love to. Why don't you take
So the
Keith
delay's
along?
not on the cutscene,
Be careful.
so it's not an issue with the capture card.
Everyone, follow me to the shuttle.
Oh wait,
That was Luke Skywalker.
okay, no, there is
I
a
can't believe
there is a delay. Let's see. Do I pop in Halo and see if there's a delay on that? Because that should tell us if there's like an issue with the setup.
Yes.
It's it's up to you.
Jedi in the jungle. It was almost too easy. Excellent.
Is it possible to recreate the color palette and visuals of a CRT on a PC display, or is it more a hardware problem that an artist and programmer can't affect much with the software?
There's some interesting tech you can do, but the whole thing with the CRT is just you know, if you design a game around a certain display tech, and then that display tech stops being used, then I assume what you're asking is like, if you had an emulator and you were running the game inside an emulator, could you give it like a shader filter on top that would recreate the necessary effects?
You'll also work with Master Katarn. Now, let's begin with your first lesson.
And I would,
I think the answer is no,
And there was nothing.
because
The area around the temple
it's
felt
just like
strange,
fundamentally a
the
different
dark
display
side world.
technology.
Gone.
Troubling.
Like it's going to be hard to recreate that, or impossible really to recreate the sort of color depth that
It's an honor to be
there's some,
actual like light
yeah,
bulbs produce.
there's some good effects out there, but the whole thing is, it's kind of like the difference between an incandescent light bulb and an LED light bulb.
And you're gonna learn.
The phosphor glow is just like a different technology, and the same is true. You can glaze other stuff. You can glaze like plasma screen TVs and what have you. It's just a different
Mhm.
tech. Modern games are made,
Let's see what you two kids can do.
I would hope, assuming that if the person's using like an OLED. Starfield does exist, so there's some conflicting information there.
This is one of the many training grounds here at the Academy.
Sorry, I don't know how to dismiss my lightsaber, Kyle.
When you're ready, Jaden, go through that door. Rosh, follow me.
Yeah, so I'm gonna diagnose this first. Let's boot up Halo. Why don't
Is
you start?
Starfield a modern game?
It came out recently, so why don't you go ahead and start up Mr. Schreier here?
All right. Speaking of Starfield,
Hello! Today we're going to talk
Hello.
about Xbox, which is about to hit the reset button. As I
I just want to say I did not expect this is what he sounded like. I've never heard him speak before.
reported on Bloomberg last week, massive
I'd never heard of it either, but this is not surprising.
layoffs are coming to Xbox after the end of Microsoft's fiscal year on June 30th. And as I reported on Bloomberg this week, studios such as Compulsion, the maker of South of Midnight, and Double Fine, the maker of Kiln and Keeper, and Ninja Theory, the maker of Hellblade, are all currently in negotiations with Xbox to figure out what happens next, because all of them are on the chopping block. And those are just the three that I've confirmed so far. I know that there are other studios in trouble. I know that layoffs are about to hit the entire organization in a huge way. Full picture isn't clear yet. We'll find out a little bit more in the days and weeks to come. But I wanted to talk a little bit about how
Alright, can you
we
pause
got here.
Can you
Yeah.
move? The others. The impact. There's nothing.
Oh yeah, there is a delay. Uh-oh.
Oh.
How did that get started?
I've detected multiple Covenant dropships on approach.
Let me restart the capture card,
Recommend
I guess.
moving into those hills. If we're lucky, the Covenant will believe that everyone aboard this lifeboat died in the crash.
Reminder that with Hellblade, Microsoft had to be reminded to advertise the game. Sorry, I was expecting him to continue.
Oh, okay. Did you restart the capture card?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, I saw it now.
In 13 years, Xbox has gone from competing with PlayStation for console supremacy to hiring a new CEO who's like saying publicly about how talking publicly about how troubled the business is, and writing memos that include lines like, quote, "This cannot continue." I think it's worth noting before we start getting into the history that Xbox.
So this goes back to a question that I asked you the other day, where I was like, I wonder how much of like the internal shit show Asha Sharma was privy to prior to stepping into the role. Like, I kind of wish I could have lived inside her head for like just the first few days where she was starting to just like truly understand the true depths of like what was fucked with the company and the industry itself and everything. Just like that kind of like outsider perspective, because we've been watching the decline for years and years.
Well, and
so it's like
Bobby Kotick talked about it too.
Mm-hmm.
He like basically said that they didn't know.
Yeah.
Microsoft is.
Sorry, the chatters are saying like it's lagging like hell no. There's no sound, so it can't be lagging, and I don't know why. But
no, the video, it's like
it's choppy.
Your stream, it's it's like super laggy and shit.
I'm gonna turn off the shader then. All right, go ahead and let him continue.
A complicated organization with a lot of different branches, and within Xbox you have a lot of these different tentpoles. You have hardware, you have software, you have services, and those are all three different businesses with kind of competing models, and sometimes they're at odds with one another. What's good for the Xbox as a platform might not.
Let's see. Is the stream still alive? I think so. I think Jason Schreier came to my house and sabotaged my laptop.
Hello?
Hello. I think
what happened?
I think, well, I restarted my laptop, but I think Jason Schreier is sabotaging me. No, because like, so the USB just became like completely non-responsive. So it's possible whatever input lag was happening, not the video lag, that's a completely different topic. We'll talk about that in a second. But whatever audio lag was being caused by like the USB just starting to fail. Yeah, there's no lag now. So just restarting the laptop fixed it.
That's the
And then the
Linux laptop, right?
Yeah, and then the video might have started to lag because the laptop was dying.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, the Covenant will believe that everyone aboard this
Necessarily be
crash.
All right, let's go back 30 seconds in the video.
All right. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
is a complicated organization with a lot of different branches, and within Xbox you have a lot of these different tentpoles. You have hardware, you have software, you have services, and those are all three different businesses with kind of competing models, and sometimes they're at odds with one another. What's good for the Xbox as a platform might not necessarily be good for Xbox games and the studios that are making them. This is true of a lot of companies, but it's even more pronounced at Microsoft, where people are incentivized to stay in their jobs for as long as possible and to...
Hang on. How many companies is this true of? How many big, like, mega corporations are there where, like, Copilot has a conflicting interest with Xbox?
Was he even saying Microsoft? I thought he was just saying Xbox is having this issue. Because, yeah, then you scope it out to Microsoft, and this is kind of the point that I wanted to make, is that at this point, Xbox is incongruent with the rest of Microsoft. Like, you have Microsoft... There's like, there was like a quote I read somewhere where somebody was saying Microsoft is complaining about an issue that Microsoft made, pretty much. And it's like Xbox is struggling with their hardware and stuff because, you know, AI is gobbling up all the tech, and now it's just like cost prohibitive for them to even make the next Xbox.
Yeah.
And they're selling consoles at a loss right now. So you have, you know, Xbox complaining about an issue that Microsoft created, and it's just like, yeah, but you guys aren't profitable, so... Granted, I don't think their AI shit's profitable either. I've been curious. I kind of wanna... I wanna, like, sit down and actually, like, napkin math what it's gonna take for, like, all this AI investment to actually pay off. Because my theory is that it's not possible. Like, a firm would need to probably have total market dominance in order to make this shit work. Because it costs so much for them to be building out, like, all these data centers and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
That's not even to take into account how much they're paying in R&D and everything. And legal battles and everything like that. It's such an uphill battle for these companies and everything, but they are, like, so adamant about putting all of their eggs into this basket at this point. And, yeah, I'm just curious, like, what the big payoff is. I don't think there is going to be one.
Well, I don't think there ever was supposed to be a payout. It was all short-term, what sounds good on the earnings call this week.
Yeah, that's basically it at this point. Like, the tech industry, I mean, it's just every industry in general at this point, but the tech industry especially is all about that boom or bust. They're always chasing that fucking easy investor money and everything. And it's just because, like, you know, regulations and stuff have never really been able to keep up with tech.
You did well too, Jaden.
I did not do well, Kyle.
Your lightsaber is an invaluable
Don't
tool.
most companies sell consoles at a loss? Most sales are at software.
Yeah, but it's a serious loss right now. Like, it is prohibitively expensive to build a console.
Yeah. Usually it's not... They start off as a loss leader, but usually the hope is that as the tech matures and everything, it becomes like a net, like, break even, pretty much. But from what I understand, the Xbox is like, if you want to destroy Microsoft right now, the best thing for you to do is just buy Xboxes.
Shorting
it's
Microsoft
that
and then
bad.
buying like 100,000 Xboxes. And putting,
Okay, Jaden. You need to use the Force to jump across the ravine. It shouldn't be a problem. If you fall,
Nintendo hasn't sold at a loss since the. But see, the issue is Nintendo isn't competing with Sony,
Yeah.
and so they can make. That's one way to put the lightsaber away. They can make consoles that just are not powerful at all, for their like specific tiny little ecosystem. Whereas with Sony,
Yeah.
it's like if Microsoft made the Xbox perform like the Switch 2, then they would just be setting themselves up for failure when it comes to like GTA 6 coming out, because that's a reason people buy consoles.
you'll have to use the push to get out of here and into the next area.
Make sure that they are seen as doing a good job and make sure they do not rock the boat, because much of their compensation, which is very good at Microsoft, is stock. And what happens at Microsoft is that their stock vests over time. They get new tranches over time, and each of it is kind of like vesting over a certain period. And so to get their full comp, they need to stick around. There's this kind of infamous program that they have called 55 and 15, which is basically if you've been there for 15 years and you are age 55 or older, you can retire, and then all of your stock will vest as a result. And so essentially, again, more incentive to just stick around at the company to keep your job. So just keep that in the back of your head as we kind of go through the Xbox story.
That is really funny. that explains a lot, especially in Xbox, because it's like you have all of these people who are just like completely out of touch now with what players want these days and everything like that. And a lot of the games being released feel like they're just kind of paint by the numbers sort of projects and everything. And to consider that, oh, these people are kind of just buying time so that they can cash out, that makes a lot of sense. That kind of fills in a lot of gaps.
Yeah, that's just general Microsoft incompetence too.
Yeah.
We're talking about a company that hasn't really been competent in a while, and it literally subsists on the fact that they have a monopoly.
Well, my theory, I think I've said this on stream before, is that when the AI bubble bursts, there's going to be a bailout for the tech industry, especially Microsoft. It explains a lot of their behavior at this point, with like their crazy risky investments and everything into AI, and they're probably just sitting there going, "Yeah, we're too big to fail. The government will never let us fail. They'll they might want like a certain stake in us and everything, but they saw how it went during '08, like what happens when you fail that hard." And yeah, the government comes in and bails you out. You get a nice cushy retirement and stuff like that. And yeah, that's kind of been in my mind, is that we're pretty much headed towards another situation like that, but this time in tech.
But no, we can't introduce government regulation into video games. They'll be incompetent.
All right. So how did we get here? Let's go back to 2013. So this is the end of the Xbox 360 era. The Xbox 360 is up there with the PlayStation 3, duking it out for number one. I believe the 360 is number one at one point. I don't remember. I think they're both kind of like neck and neck towards the end in terms of hardware sales. I believe the PS3 might have slightly inched out the 360 by the end of things, but essentially they were on par at that point. And the Xbox, I mean, a lot of people associate it with big hits like Halo and Gears and Forza, but it also really innovated and brought to the games industry this idea of indie games that weren't just kind of like these random garage hits that or garage creations that you might find on your PC if you know the right file.
It's funny to think that Microsoft created their their Grim Reaper, because that's kind of the elephant in the room of this whole discussion, and why I'm kind of sitting here on the sidelines just like kind of pointing and laughing, because yeah, we have the indie market now. That's where all the money's at. That's where everybody's going. That's where all the developers are going. That's where any talent goes at this point. So it's like how do you even do a turnaround in the AAA scene like this when you have indie games that are able to just eat up so much of your market share? I think it's rather telling that we haven't seen any like concrete numbers about like the indie market compared to the AAA market, because I wouldn't be surprised at this point if indie is at least like 30 to 40%. And then the rest, and like another 50% is probably like fucking mobile.
Yet AAA killed itself.
Yeah.
I was reminded recently of the... You remember how Xbox used to charge money to release updates on the 360?
Yeah.
That ended because an indie developer was like complaining that there was a bug with his game, and in order to fix it, he said he needed to spend like 40 grand for the update.
Nice.
And so like,
which game was that?
it was Fez.
Right.
And it was that Phil Fish guy who rage quit after people made fun of him. But like Microsoft, I think, was the only one that like really charged tons of money to release updates.
Mm-hmm.
So programs to look for.
It's just funny that like they are accredited with having an indie scene when that seemed to pop up in spite of Microsoft rather than because of it.
Yeah.
Legitimate potential hits like Braid and Limbo and Super Meat Boy and even Minecraft. All of those games became hits in part or mostly because they were on Xbox's Xbox Live Arcade program, which allowed some of these indie games not just to be distributed to Xbox console owners, but also gave them promotion on the Xbox UI and really helped these people just kind of stand out. They got support from an internal organization within Xbox, ID at Xbox, and so worth noting here that like without Xbox in this generation, indie games would not be quite what they are today.
I disagree. I very much disagree with that assessment.
It was, listen, Minecraft was on the Xbox, and those guys at Red vs. Blue played it, and that's why it was successful.
Yeah, no. Minecraft was really successful long before its console ports, and also this idea that indie development wouldn't be where it is today without like Microsoft and Xbox is just pure bullshit.
Well, without Xbox Live Arcade, we wouldn't have gotten the whatever fucking Joe racing game that the Hello Games made before No Man's Sky, and without that, No Man's Sky wouldn't have happened, and without No Man's Sky, there'd be no Starfield. So, who's the real winner here?
Yeah. I'll give them credit for Xbox Live Arcade. There were some good games in that, but let's not kid ourselves and say that Microsoft is the reason the indie scene exists as it is today. No, it's Steam.
Then 2013 comes along, and we have the Xbox One debacle under Don Matrick, who is running the org. The idea of the Xbox One, the next console, was not just to be a gaming platform, but also an all-in-one entertainment machine.
I like how 2013 hits like 2016 does. It's like, and then 2013 happened.
The messaging in their announcement in May 2013 is completely incoherent and inconsistent. You have executives contradicting each other in interviews because nobody really knows what's going on. It's bundled with Kinect. It's online only. Nobody is really clear exactly how that works. You have to plug it in do you have to connect it to an internet connection every once in a while?
This is all glazing over. There had been like 3 years of incompetence at Microsoft at that point before the Xbox One even happened.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had the initial Kinect launch, you had the 360 Slim, you had the Xbox Ring of Death. That was even before that time period.
Yeah.
You had whatever the
Yeah.
fuck was going on with 343. Like, to say this is like noticing the symptoms of the problem and thinking that like that's when the illness starts.
Right.
Like, the infection starts when you start coughing stuff up, and it's like, no, you were infected way before that.
Yeah. Really, like, the question is, when was Xbox really good? I feel like they kind of were just getting by with the hits. Really, again, let's be honest here. They were really riding the coattails of fucking Bungie.
Yeah.
Imagine Xbox without Halo 1 and Halo 2.
Imagine the 360 without Halo 3. Yeah.
Yeah, like, nah, it's not. And like, is it any coincidence that once Bungie stopped making games exclusively for them, that like everything started turning to shit?
Well, and really what it is here's our opportunity to blame Halo 2 again. Halo 2 was massively successful. It broke a world record for like sales when it came out.
Yeah.
God, lightsaber controlling on a controller. Not ideal. It's so nice on PC. Like, these are PC games through and through that somehow ended up on a console. But
You know what this game needs? It needs touch controls. We need to make this for a mobile game.
yes,
As a
exactly.
mobile game.
With wind-up attacks and combo moves. Know how you interact. Y. It's like the Y button. That's how you interact. Because A is jump. But there was a ton of like institutional money in entering the industry, and Microsoft was very aware of that. They wanted to kind of cash in on that. And so like they got as greedy as like EA was.
Yeah.
So this is a weird kind of part of the issue is that he's like summarizing a lot of events in like too short a time frame. But also it's kind of like glazing the industry. It's very industry focused in the sense of like just kind of glossing over that like things had already been shit for at least half a decade before his timeline even starts.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason I wasn't buying an Xbox One regardless. Like, I was already not sold before they made any of the announcements and stuff. And then once they made the announcements, I was like, good God. Like,
yeah, like, so like you had Halo Reach. For me, you had Halo Reach and it was kind of like suboptimal.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as what had come before. And then you had Halo 4 and it was just like, good Lord. If this is how they treat their flagship.
Honestly, Halo Reach was my checkout point, basically. I was just not really into it. And I was just like, well, that's the last of Bungie's games. Like,
if I'm gonna put money, if I'm gonna put money into a new thing, you know, it's gonna be PC because PC has Minecraft.
Yeah, you know, you say that, but like that's kind of like at least one of the games that sold me on PC. It's like Minecraft and modded Minecraft and stuff like that, but also just like Skyrim, but with mods, and you know, Oblivion. Well, what I wanted to play was Oblivion with mods. Oh, did I? I was young then. I didn't know. But yeah, I had a point, but I forgot it at this point. Let me see if chat's gonna remind me. No. All right.
Hours or all the time, or what does that look like? It's not clear, but one thing is clear: people hate it, people revolt. At this point, I think it's worth noting today the idea of an online only console is more palatable. I think more people are kind of accustomed to that notion, but back then,
So people are
Oh,
just more
right.
raped nowadays. Got it.
Yeah. The point that I did want to make was that the reason he probably is focusing on that announcement and stuff was that like that was kind of the watershed moment for a lot of people. That was really much the emperor without clothes sort of moment. Like everybody saw, oh, like what the fuck? How do you go from the 360 to whatever the fuck this is supposed to be? And then there was I remember so many people just being like, oh, you know, Microsoft, they're just ahead of the time, right? Like they're just setting up for like the way we're going to be playing games in the future. And it's like, no, this just sounds like they're completely out of touch.
Jason Schreier sounds like he would sell the Bethesda timeline as, so in 2020, everything went downhill in 2023 when Starfield came.
Yeah.
and that was not the case. People did not have quite the same internet infrastructure that they do today, and this idea of not being able to own your own games, which was a huge part of it. A huge part of this, by the way, a little bit of quick context here, is that at this point, used games were seen as the boogeyman for the video game industry, and a lot of game companies wanted to go to digital. They wanted to find ways to make it so you couldn't just buy a game and then trade it back into GameStop and allow GameStop to sell your used game to other people. This was seen as a big problem for gaming back then. Anyway, so Xbox One.
Hang on, Jason. Big problem for the industry. This is like prime example of games journalists firmly being on the industry side and not the consumer side. Whereas like this was a big problem, and it's like, was it?
Well, it's also like, is it really that big of a problem for the industry? Like, you have the automaker industry and stuff, and it's like, I would argue their used market is much bigger.
I'll tell you what was going on was, and there was an image that went around recently of like, how many polygons do you need to make the map of the United States actually look like the United States? And what everybody said about it was like, once you hit 300, you know, you start to get diminishing returns on how detailed it is. And then you get to like 500 and it's like the iterations are non-distinct. People were saying that about graphics technologies in the mid 2000s, that there was diminishing returns. And part of the anxiety was that like Battlefield 3 might look so good that people won't buy Battlefield 4 because they can just buy 3.
Right.
There was just this concern that the upper limit on graphics technology was going to be reached, and then they could no longer say, look, we've made the graphics better, so it's a better game. Turns out that was wrong. They can do that ad infinitum, and just endlessly remake the same games over and over. But that was more so like the genuine concern than and also just the wanting to remove the concept of ownership in general. I mean, we're dealing with that constantly with the Stop Killing Games thing. The idea that you can just arbitrarily force people into an agreement that says that, like, yeah, you don't own your games. It's a service. It's a revocable license. So we can just take away ownership after the fact. And it's like, of course they've always wanted to do that.
Is announced. It's a debacle. about 1 or 2 months after, 2 months, I believe it was July of 2013, they reverse course on the online only thing and say, actually, we're going to make this so you can play it offline. Don't worry about the online stuff. Eventually, they get rid of Don Matrick during this period, but it's kind of too late to recover. And one of the biggest problems is still intact, which is that the Xbox One is still sold with the Kinect bundled in. The Kinect, for people to remember, is the kind of the body motion sensing device that Microsoft used to manufacture and had its pros and cons. So as a result of that...
And also, Xbox One had no fucking games. There was fuck all to play on it.
That's the whole point here. Like, people would put up with all the other bullshit if there were games to play on it, but there weren't. It had nothing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, there was that game, The Rise Son of Rome. I think
oh my god,
that was like one of the games that people would play on it. I think that was it for a while. I think there was a Dead Rising 3, I think. That might still be on the Xbox. But it's like, you know, what do you have to look forward to? A Halo 4 sequel? Ooh, boy. Get me on board with that.
Yeah, I would say Halo 4 probably did more damage to Microsoft's ability to sell consoles than the announcement of the console did. Because again, it's like, you know, the hardware or whatever, who really gives a shit? It's the games that we're here for. And when your biggest franchise just completely and utterly face planted, in the most spectacular of fashion, like
Gears was in a bad place, you know, Forza was in a bad place.
Yeah, like all of the golden geese had long since like shit the bed.
The Xbox One was sold for $500, whereas the competing PlayStation 4, which came out around the same time, November of 2013, was sold for $400. With that, the console war was essentially over. The next year, they went...
It really wasn't, because the PlayStation 4 sucked, too.
Yeah.
I was bitching about it when you were here, like... Good lord.
But they at least had like some franchises and stuff that were still
you could play. The only game I have on the PlayStation 4 that's sitting on the shelf in front of me is fucking Bloodborne. Like, PS4 was equally gameless. That's where the blank has no games thing came from.
Yeah.
And it was in a similarly bad situation. Most of their licensed franchises managed to die. Like, God of War was gone for that entire generation.
That
like Uncharted died, Killzone died. Just all of these games that defined, like Metal Gear Solid was gone for a while. All of these things defined the PlayStation. Just missed the PS4. It was a console that was like a way to play The Last of Us at like higher fidelity and Bloodborne.
Well, the thing to remember though is that there's always the Japanese games that only stick to PlayStation, and so like the PlayStation 4, that's where they get to eke out their lead. Is that market is at least there.
So like, this was just a rough time for the games industry in general. Like,
I mean, this is really what.
Early
this is
8th
what
generation.
Set the stage. Like, what we're seeing right now was sown. I mean, it was sown like prior to this, as we were saying, but like this was the first like telltale signs that like the industry is in dire straits. And it's a shame too, because it's like at this point they had plenty of time, plenty of money, plenty of support and goodwill and stuff to do the turnarounds that they're trying to do now. And it's like, no. If you guys did that back in like 2012, 2013, you guys would be riding on top of the world right now. But
no, they believe the hype that gamers are dead.
Yeah, exactly. we need to make our consoles into movie boxes. So we're gonna have that what was it, Quantum Break? That fucking game where
Yeah.
it was tied to like a TV show, like shit, like it's just like
Yeah, there was the Xbox One presentation where they said TV more than they said games.
games. Yeah, exactly.
The Kinect and selling the Xbox One for $400 to try to compete, but a little bit too little, too late. So Phil Spencer takes over. Phil Spencer takes over in 2014. He's a Microsoft lifer.
There's
been
part
there
of the problem
for
too.
like
Yeah.
his entire life. It was the only job he had was being at Microsoft, and he is kind of seen as he's well liked, he's gregarious, he's amicable, and he is seen as someone with a vision for what Xbox could look like 1 year, 5 years, 10 years down the road. One of his first big bets in the 2 or 3 years after he takes over is this initiative called Xbox Game Pass that they see as their version of Netflix for gaming.
It was that early?
Dude, Game Pass has been around for a while. Which really, again, I posited this question to you last night, where it's like, I really want to know what the total losses at Xbox are, because they have to be like staggering. Like, we're talking like probably hundreds of billions of dollars at this point.
If we're factoring in the buyouts and stuff that have just completely fallen apart since then yeah, it is unironically probably that high. Because I think the figure on the buyouts that just haven't worked out for them is like $80 billion.
Yeah. That wild.
And Phil Spencer, I think, pretty wisely recognizes that as production costs keep going up, the volatility of the games industry just keeps increasing. And so you need to sell more and more copies to get a hit. This is becoming a problem for Microsoft. And so why not take after the software initiatives within the org and get people on a subscription, get a stable source of recurring revenue, get people paying $10 a month and just continuing to do so. This is also a time when like...
Yeah, but they had that already. It was called Xbox Live.
Yeah, but we need ownership tied to subscriptions too.
Yeah. They had this. They it wasn't until after Game Pass that I saw people canceling Xbox Live. Like, not only did Game Pass fuck everything up, but it also led to people just like no longer paying for Xbox Live and things like that. And granted, Xbox Live was probably living on borrowed time anyways, because you had PC, where everybody was migrating to anyways, with free online like multiplayer. And that's why anybody paid for Xbox Live, was so that you could play online, you could play Halo online, you could play Call of Duty 4 online and shit like that.
And you could and you could talk to your friends online, and it's just like
Yeah.
all of that functionality has effectively been replaced.
Yeah. But I think that would have been the better way to explore. The better investment would be, how do we make people not cancel their Xbox Live subscription? How do we create more value for this? How do we, and the solution it would be to just, take that money that you're making and invest it into innovation. Like,
well, so
get
like
ahead of the Discords and Reddit and everything else, and make your own shit with that and tie it to Xbox Live.
Diagonal is very hard to do in this game, and it's messing up with my muscle memory on how to do movement. But the way I would look at it is, part of the problem is the idea that we're gonna have a flagship and then not succeeding with your flagship.
Yeah.
The way that Microsoft should have gone is do away with, we're going to have, 2 or 3 major franchises, and just go for the business model of investing tons of money into like smaller projects, and just like diversify. If the gaming industry is, if you're in a situation that's financially risky, why are you betting everything on a handful of projects?
Right.
That's what's
Yeah,
funny to me about him explaining it is like the industry was risky, so it was like everything's got to sell well, and it's like no, the thing you do when it's risky is you diversify.
Yeah.
That's the time to do it. That's when shit's cheap. So
And like I could see them looking at Game Pass as being them diversifying, but it's also just like, yeah, but your core model is still really risky. It's still exposed.
Zarek asks if I'm winning. What's Zarek's opinion on the Twi'lek? I don't think anybody's donated, so I've got no clue if the super chat thing works.
No, you've had a few.
And I just haven't
So
noticed them.
I guess yeah.
I hope they didn't get eaten. Let me do a test one. We go ahead and let him continue.
Okay.
Like Netflix, we're seeing the rise of streaming services in film and TV, so it seems like a viable business model. And Phil Spencer sees this as the kind of the North Star for Xbox at this point. Game Pass launches in 2017. Soon.
I also like to point out Netflix being the guiding star for so many different companies and stuff during this time period, and it's just
Bro,
like,
yeah, no.
Good Lord, has that aged so poorly?
What a thing in retrospect. Netflix used to be
like
up
Destiny.
there. Yeah, Netflix used to be up there with Facebook, which lol, but and then actual companies like Amazon and Apple and Google.
Yeah.
And it's like Netflix. They're a tech company, but it turned out they were not a fucking tech company. They were a logistics company. They always were, but they lied about being a tech company, and then just got massively overvalued, and everybody was like, let's copy their business model.
Yeah. You did get 2 more super chats.
Thank you, yes. Less super chat. Please ignore. But yes, thank you. I that might be why you need alert sounds. I don't know why they were so much easier to see in the old thing. I guess it's just because I read chat, so I see that big box in chat, and I'm like, oh, there.
Yeah. Man, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so like Netflix, everybody wanting to be Netflix is like how everybody wanted to be Destiny, until everybody found out that their business models were completely fucked. But by then it was too little too late, and everybody started failing the exact same ways that Netflix and Destiny were failing. It really is indicative of the tech industry in general, that you have one hit, one person one company doing really well, and everybody's just like, all right, we got to copy that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Not realizing that in copying it, that's kind of what killed Netflix, was Discovery and Warner Brothers and like all these companies. They're like, shit, let's take our content off of their platform and put it onto our own platform. And it's just like, which simultaneously kills the entire industry, because people aren't going to pay for 5 or 6 different subscription services. And even if they did, you still wouldn't be making enough money to break even. Like, the only reason Netflix was able to do and last and generate as much money as it did was because they had a monopoly on the whole idea.
Yeah, well,
the whole idea falls apart once you have multiple actors
It's
involved.
super funny too, because they didn't own anything. They didn't own the servers that the content was hosted on. They didn't own the tech that they were using. Like the anti-piracy thing was Silverlight. The player was like, that might have been their player, but like that's the easiest part of the business model is how do you play the video file. The hard part is how do you distribute the video file efficiently without costing tons of money. But it was like Amazon servers, Microsoft anti-piracy tech, like legitimately their main business innovation might have been the subscription model, and that's not even innovative. It's just like how you get people to pay for it.
I think Netflix just got lucky. That was basically it. The
Yeah.
people,
Well, it was like the internet was new. So
Yes.
we had, when I was a kid, we had Netflix when it was a mail-in thing.
Yeah.
You would like select what movies or TV shows you wanted to get in the mail, and they would mail you the disc for it. And then it was like, we didn't have TV in our house, right? So the way that we saw Star Trek was, we'd get a disc in the mail, and it'd be like, this is 4 episodes of season 4 of Voyager. Hope you're happy with that. But like, yeah, and then we would just mail it back when we were done. That was how Netflix worked when it was when it first started out, and then like they started to let you watch the stuff online.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I found YouTube before I found Netflix.
I never found Netflix. I've never paid for Netflix. I've watched like maybe a couple things on Netflix, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
again,
so
it's like
the other thing is that like there are anime that are only popular because they were on Netflix during this time period. Attack on Titan being like a prominent example.
I think they just got lucky in that the studios and stuff were slow to realize like the actual potential streaming content had, and so they were like, oh yeah, sure, we'll license out our IPs and stuff, we'll license out our catalogs to Netflix or whatever, sure, why not? And they were kind of like getting away, they were kind of like robbing the bank without the bank realizing. And once the banks realized, the game was over.
Well, and it wasn't even like they were robbing the bank. It was that the bank didn't realize that like ATMs would be a really good thing to have.
Yeah. So again, the moral of the story is like anybody who says, "Oh, we wanted to copy Netflix," it's like just bad news. Bad idea.
One versions of every Xbox game. Around the same time, quick kind of side note here, with Xbox One sales struggling, Spencer decides to put all of their games on PC, which is essentially the end of Xbox exclusivity, which I think that people kind of point to the recent initiatives of PlayStation being on PlayStation and Switch as like, oh, Xbox isn't exclusive anymore. But really, this is it. Because if you can get Xbox games on PC, that means that if you are a PC user, and there are many millions of them out there, you have very little reason to buy an Xbox.
There's more PC users than there are like console users for all 3 consoles combined.
I mean, yeah, not like PC gamers though.
Yeah, no, there are. Like Steam releases these numbers.
Wait, really? There's more PC gamers at this point than there are.
Yeah, because Nintendo really hasn't done well with retaining an audience compared to like the highs of the Wii, right? If we were talking like if Nintendo was still doing Wii numbers, then it would be a no, but like yeah, there's like PC is a huge market. I think it's about an equivalent market share.
Interesting. I didn't know we'd hit that point already.
Well, because what's included is like I know somebody that like they game on a laptop, and it's not a very powerful laptop, but they have Steam. And so like that counts. Every college student that gets anything more powerful than like a basic ass Chromebook can get Steam and then can play like at a minimum. I mean, like there's stuff on Steam that'll run on anything. Like Half-Life will run on pretty much anything. So like if you have anything that can run Steam, you can be a PC gamer.
Right.
And then
well, I'm just curious, like in terms of like people's primary place for playing games, is PC stronger than the others?
I think it is. That's why there are like studies on the market economics behind this stuff that would probably give you a definitive answer, but that's why GTA 6, being delayed and coming to PC. I mean, the obvious reason being to sell shark cards on GTA Online because it's easier to cheat on PC. But
Yeah.
that's why it's silly that it's not coming out to PC at the same time.
Yeah.
But, I'm not really upset about that. Cope.
Man, I don't know. I'm
I played GTA 5. That's not exactly excited for GTA 6.
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting.
GTA
at.
5 is high key a bad game.
Yeah.
GTA 4 is like barely good. I'm willing to say it's good, but barely.
Mhm.
And then GTA 5 is just a worse version of 4.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
I like Red Dead 2. I just wish its story wasn't like that.
Yeah, Red Dead 2 is great with Red Dead Online. So you just ignore all the story stuff.
Yeah, well, your
Yeah,
story in Red Dead Online's emergent, so it's your story.
GTA 6 won't be a commercial failure.
It's
we
impossible.
Just get
yeah.
that out. It's like impossible. But GTA 7. This again, we might be looking at this. Might end up being another. This might end up being the most disappointed game of all time.
Well,
disappointing game.
There are people, bad financial situation right now, but there are people who have bought PlayStation 5s just to play GTA 6.
Yes.
And so, like, if it's not amazing, can you imagine having put down that much money for a game, for one game that's not even good?
Yep. That's kind of that's kind of the issue that I'm looking at here is like the setup. Like I'm looking at the setup here, right? Like this is looking worse than Cyberpunk 20.
And you might think like
77.
You might think like, no, GTA 6 is just that game. It's just that powerful of a franchise, and it's like people used to say that about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, Call of Duty used to be a franchise that it was considered impossible for it to ever have a bad game because it had such an ingrained fan base.
Yeah.
That would turn up no matter what. And it's like, look at where Black Ops 7 is.
And also, like, man, GTA Online, fucking Rockstar's gonna get sued to fucking oblivion when companies realize what's going on with GTA Online. Like, granted, they're unofficial private servers, a lot of them and stuff, but like, just blatant copyright infringement and shit like that. It on a staggering level. Like we're talking this GTA Online, not even counting shark cards, just like the unofficial servers and everything like that. That's probably well over $1 billion industry. Like the amount of money that's being moved around in that.
I don't see like if Roblox isn't on the hook for that and that's on their platform, there's no way Rockstar would ever be on the hook for what's going on off of GTA Online, because GTA Online itself is super sanitized in terms of what shows up.
Yeah.
So like what Rockstar's hosting and what they're making, anything that's like official, they'll have like Ice Cube show up. No, not Ice Cube. He's East Coast. Who showed up for the? See, I stopped playing before this started happening. Who showed up for the? Not. He would, but I don't think he did. The bounty hunting update in GTA Online. It's based around some famous celebrity.
Wiz Khalifa?
No.
I think Wiz Khalifa did have a thing with GTA Online, though.
With COD, it needed a nearly decade-long fuck-up to lose its grasp. But isn't that GTA 6? I mean, this game's been like a thing for so long. People bought PlayStation 5s like 5 years ago or whatever, whenever that shit
Yeah.
came out to play this. Does Fallout 76 have a better gameplay loop than Fallout 4? I hate to say it, chat. Yes. No, Fallout 76 is a better game, but Fallout 4 has I think a better loop. It's kind of weird like that.
Yeah, Fallout 4 feels like just like a tighter designed game. As crazy as it is to say.
So
Fallout 76 might have had a better loop like back in the day, but after all these updates and shit like that, it's
after they nerfed the hell out of the survival mechanics,
yeah, it's pretty degenerate now.
And yet it's still a better game. Dr. Dre, yeah, I think it was Dr. Dre in that update.
Okay.
But so, I mean, if you're talking decade-long fuck-up, like, if GTA 6 is a bad game, not saying I think it is, I've got no clue, I'm not paying attention to that at all. If it was a bad game, it's been an ongoing saga for so long that, like, I think it'd be a big deal. Fuck, if it's even, like, mildly woke. Are you kidding?
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding? If there's even one woke component of it, which is impossible for there not to be, you're gonna see like locusts descending from the heavens upon that game.
Yeah. GTA used to be like cool and counterculture, and now it's just woke. This is bullshit. Like just stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just people who didn't pay attention in past games.
Yeah.
It was always like snide liberal.
It was. Yeah. Well, I mean, the developers are British. Like.
Yeah, so they're mentally ill. Did you see? I got lift up for this one. Like UK research people said that individuals are more likely to talk about their lives if you're doing like GTA Online heists with them. And I correctly pointed out that that's called hanging out. People are inclined to talk about their lives if you hang out with them. Groundbreaking research, guys.
UK, are you guys all right? That's a rhetorical question. I know you guys are not all right.
We need to liberate them. They are like... it's time for the Revolutionary War to have a part 2, because...
It is genuinely concerning what's going on over there, like just culturally.
Mm-hmm.
They got some problems there. They got a morale issue. What was I gonna say? What were we talking about? Fuck.
GTA 6?
Right, GTA 6. The game... Because... Alright, so imagine it is a disappointment, right? Well, first off, expectations are so fucking high at this point for the game that I don't know how you don't disappoint at least some people. And like you said, then there's the people who are like really invested, like talking like probably like close to $1,000 worth of invested. I don't think there's any game that's gonna hold up to that level of scrutiny. But yeah, what happens if it is a disappointment? How long is it going to take for them to make GTA 7? Or even Red Dead 3 or whatever? Like, the time delay between GTA 6 and the next game will be definitely long enough for everything to kind of just deteriorate and spiral out of control, making the next game so much more riskier of an investment. So it's like right now, yeah, they can afford to spend probably what's going to be $1 billion to make this game, because they know they're going to make that money back. But if the next game, like, you know, if GTA 6 has a lot of, like, a fucking cyberpunk level of, like, backlash and disappointment and stuff like that, you can't make that bet again. But they kind of have to make that bet Like it's. All I'm saying is, if I was an investor at Rockstar, I would cash out immediately after GTA 6 sells and get the fuck out, because I do not see a winning situation after that game releases.
Yeah, it's gonna sell well, but the reaction to it is probably going to be very incendiary, and it's going to be a shit show. It is going to be the most, like, November is going to have the most annoying Discord possible.
Yeah,
because
I'll probably just go on vacation for
there's a million sub GTA YouTuber who is certifiably fucking insane, right? The guy acts like a fucking crazy person, and he has 1 million fans. And, like, he gets massive views, despite the fact that he's, like, a lolcow. And it's like, that's the GTA community. They are crazy. They will die on the hill that GTA 6 is good, no matter how it turns out.
Right. Yeah, GTA's fan base is... they're just a completely different breed. I wouldn't even really consider them like gamers per se.
Who is doing worse, Canada or the UK? I'm gonna say the UK. I've historically said that, like, the entire English-speaking world is in a competition for who can have the most dystopic country. I think the UK is winning right now.
Well, okay, I'm gonna say Canada is better off because. They have natural resources that they can sell. Canada will always be in a better position because they have that. They have that, and they also have land. They have a shit ton of land. As long as they have that, there will always be a path out of the darkness. That's kind of what makes the UK so fucked.
So I'm just gonna insert here. This was probably the worst level. I was trying to avoid this level, and I managed to pick it instead of any level but it. There's certain control issues where on mouse and keyboard you can very easily, there's like a top left to bottom right swing I'm trying to do. And it's very hard to do because you have to do a directional input, and it's partially involves moving the camera. It is a directionality-based combat system, which is very powerful. It is one of the best lightsaber combat systems. It's just very hard to do on this controller. And so I'm having difficulty with the lightsaber combat.
More on that stuff in a bit, but let's get back to Game Pass. For Game Pass to work, it needs a lot of games, and Spencer and the Xbox org.
I'm so glad I clipped me talking about the Game Pass Gambit, because that is a very vindicating clip of explaining the, like, sales economics of how Game Pass makes sense. To summarize it, in order for Game Pass to work, there has to be more people who would play a game at $10 than would buy a game at $70, right? There has to be 600% increase in customer base for it to be profitable. Reminder, with Starfield, it was only 200%.
Yeah.
Wind up paying a lot of developers to put their games on Game Pass, and those deals wind up helping a lot of developers. A lot of developers stay solvent over.
Sorry, no, I got gamed. I put my lightsaber away by accident and immediately got shot.
No, this I like what he's saying here is reminding me of like that joke we were making in with the Starfield retold sort of thing, where everybody's just taking advantage of Walt for his money.
Yeah. I mean that is Microsoft.
That's what Game Pass. Yeah.
So someone asked based on what? Here's what it's based on. Okay, you can here's your choices. Would you rather sell a game for $70 or sell a game for $10? Which would you rather do? Do you want to make 70 or 10? No, the economics here is that in order for Game Pass to work, that tin has to be so tantalizing to 6 times the number of people who would never buy Starfield for full price, but would play it for $10, that you'd have enough people to replace what you could have made if the only way to play Starfield was it was full price. So if you think about it, you need 6 times the sales, or you need 6 times the Game Pass subscriptions that you would have if you'd just done sales. Starfield sold about 4 million copies, and it had 15 million players. For Starfield to be economical under Game Pass, it probably would have needed like 40 million players. I mean, shit, Cyberpunk sold 30 million copies, so that's not even that unrealistic. It's just, it doesn't work out. There's not enough people that were on Game Pass. It was too expensive of a game, and it didn't sell enough copies. And then it's like, well, they could get $20 if you're subbed for the next month, and it's like, yeah, but if you do the math, right, you're talking $120 a year. That's still less than 2 games from Xbox. So if you play Starfield and Call of Duty, and that's the only 2 games that you play on Game Pass for 12 months, Microsoft's still at a loss. You play more than 2 games on Game Pass? Oh, man. And it's just like, this is why it never made sense at the price point that it was at in 2023. It doesn't make sense at the price point it's at now. And it's still got this issue.
Yeah.
The years, but not enough. And Spencer wants a way bigger back catalog, and just he wants hundreds of games on there, because the only way for a Netflix of gaming to work is to have a huge catalog of software out there. So he goes on a shopping spree, and that is in part buoyed by the success of the big 2014 acquisition that Xbox made, which was Minecraft and Mojang, which was for $2.5 billion and worked incredibly well. I mean, Minecraft is still, to this day, many years later, it's still one of the biggest games in the world.
Okay, is it a good selling game though? Because it's like, sure, it's got a lot of players. I bought Minecraft 15 years ago.
I mean, they have other avenues of monetization now.
Yeah, that's why Bedrock's a thing.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, Minecraft has a huge player base, but how many of those people are like...
Are actually like really paying? I mean, yeah, they have like... I guess this happened after Microsoft bought them, where it's like it turned into a franchise. So now you have the movie, and you have the... It was a good purchase.
It was a good purchase, but I wouldn't list it as like being that big a deal, honestly. They're hardly on the ground floor.
Yeah, I wouldn't have bet that we'd be able to do it twice in a row. Like, right. we need to acquire the next Minecraft, and it's like, that was a risky bet the first time around.
I don't know. I think Mojang's kind of a lolcow of a studio.
Yeah.
So it's just like they cannot do Bedrock right. They're constantly getting in trouble over their terms of service. They barely work.
Yeah.
Minecraft gets like 3 new blocks a year, and one of them's always a wood block. Like,
yeah.
a new, slightly different wood color.
Like, how the fuck?
I will say the most recent versions of Minecraft are the first time that it's been worth it to play just like vanilla Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't been true in a long time. But it's like, now it's actually kind of a fun game to play unmodded.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
it's actually a game now.
Because it was like they added hunger, and it was just not... It's not a good hunger implementation.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, they've added enough that it's kind of fleshed out. Oh, I was gonna ask this. You know all those like retail game simulators where it's like you run a cash register and you stock shelves and stuff?
Yeah.
That little micro genre. What's the game that they're all copying from, and was it good? Because none of them seem to be good.
The one that I saw pop up first, well, the one that I noticed first was Supermarket Simulator.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think they pioneered the concept at all, but I think that's kind of just because that one blew up, right? Like that one became the Twitch game of the month. And now everybody's kind of just copying that.
So 2018, 2019 era, he buys Double Fine and Compulsion and Obsidian and In Exile and Ninja Theory.
Oh my god. Most of those you just said in the beginning of this are getting slated to shut down or like have to be bought out.
He's tying the story together. We're catching up to the fuck ups.
And a whole bunch more. And then in 2020, Xbox buys ZeniMax, the company behind Bethesda, for $7.5 billion.
Let me be clear. I'm not asking about who started the job simulator genre. That shit's old as time. Who specifically started the genre of games that the game Retro Rewind belongs to? Because I swear to God, is there an Unreal Engine blueprint that they all use?
Yes. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. At this point, there's probably, I don't know, I think a lot of them are actually made in Unity, but Unity has a similar ecosystem where you can buy like prefabs for gameplay, like entire gameplay systems and stuff like that. That's why they're able to put these, like a lot of these games are able to like come out really quickly, is because you just go in, you pay a few $100 and you can have a functioning game. And then you just, slap together a few assets to make it a little bit more distinguishable, and then just, put it up on Steam and make money. I've actually considered doing this as like an experiment to see like how much of a functional game could I make by just like buying shit on these.
Hit me up. I've got a plan for an incremental game.
Because it really, like, and like I say, it really is not, like, some of these systems you pay like $60. Just flat rate, like, that's it. $60, it's yours. So, yeah, no, to answer your question, yes, that's exactly what's going on.
Well, I mean, they're so derivative that it feels like it's the same person making each one. Not necessarily Retro Rewind, but a ton of the ones that I've seen are like, this is the exact same cash register.
I mean, if you consider the fact that all those assets are, like, there was an individual who made those assets and all these people are buying that asset from them. Yes, it really is like
but,
a few people made.
Yeah, the same stocking thing. The games even look similar. It's all the same fucking like human models that everybody used to pull their porn game assets from.
Yeah.
Which gives them access to franchises like Fallout and Elder Scrolls and Doom. Essentially takes this massive third-party publisher and puts them into the Xbox umbrella. And one of their first things that they say is like, hey, we're going to put all these games, they're going to be they're all going to be day one on Game Pass. They're all going to be part of our just kind of broad strategy. We're going to put them on Xbox and PC. Part of the arrangement behind all of these acquisitions is that these studios get to keep their autonomy. ZeniMax becomes its own entity, or stays its own entity, still reporting to its CEO, Jamie Leader, while studios like Double Fine and Obsidian turn into what's called limited integration studios. They're told, make great games, take risks, try to win awards. It's okay if a game isn't a huge hit because it can still be useful to Xbox as part of this broad strategy to get games on Game Pass. So Double Fine might be a perfect example of that. This is an independent studio in San Francisco that has been around for many, many years. It's one that you might know well if you've watched the Double Fine documentary series, including Psychodyssey, about the making of Psychonauts 2, which once again, I will say I cannot recommend enough if you want to understand how games are made. And
fuck Tim Schafer. Okay, go continue.
Get a little glimpse behind the curtain into the messy development process. So please go watch that. But yeah, so these guys, I mean, is an example of a studio that like has kind of survived but never really had a huge hit. It's not the type of studio you buy if you want extreme profitability, if you want Call of Duty level numbers. We'll get to that. So that's not the
that that's an interesting screen you got.
Yeah, this is the second time. This is rough, say.
Is it time to change games?
I might go to Halo CE because we didn't beat it, so.
Yeah. I mean, and we played more Halo 2 than we did CE. Kind of have to even the odds here, even the score a bit.
The mandate is like, you can be successful at the studio as long as you are making a game that contributes to the overall value of Game Pass, which is our main mission. At the end of 2020, around the same period, Xbox launches the Xbox Series X and Series S. One is more powerful, one is more affordable, and the idea is hopefully get back in the hardware race after really losing this Xbox One generation. Because at this point, Xbox hardware sales have truly kind of fallen off a cliff. The PlayStation is outselling it 2-1 by many estimates. We don't know the real numbers because.
Hold on, Mr. Schreier. The reason that the PlayStation sells well is that it's also a Blu-ray player. Like,
yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
You forgot about the what we used the PlayStation to do when we watched The Last Jedi?
I've never owned. Oh, right. Yeah, we were using the PlayStation for that. I've never owned Blu-ray, so I kind of just skipped over that and switched to digital media.
Things have gotten so bad that Microsoft decided to stop reporting Xbox sales numbers, Xbox hardware sales numbers, which
always a good sign.
One rule.
So there's the people. It's always a good sign when they stop reporting sales numbers. There were people who were like, "Yeah, SKG is a bad thing," because it didn't immediately win. So the libertarians were like, "Yeah, I don't think the regulation's a good thing." And I was like, if I had my way, there would be a regulation that says that publicly traded game companies have to disclose their sales figures.
Yes, yeah. Have to disclose sales figures and player numbers.
Yeah, like active player count.
Yeah.
Or at least like a daily count.
Because that is very pertinent information for an investor to make like actual investment decisions. Anything less than that is imagine like the auto industry doing that, where they're like, oh yeah, we're just not going to tell people how much we sold it, like, you know, for the fucking Mustang or whatever this year. And it's just like, you literally cannot do that because that's defrauding investors. Like, but the games industry is able to get away with that again because it's basically just nobody's noticing.
It's unregulated.
Actually, yeah.
If you want like a prime example of the dysfunction of an unregulated industry, look at gaming.
Yes. Yeah. That's and again, it's like
the social experiment has failed. It's time for some rules, and it's not even like we don't need. I mean, the player count thing would be basically a new rule.
Yeah.
But it's in the line of enforcing the standard of knowing the sales of a publicly traded company. Whereas, like, the games ownership thing, I don't even think any of that's a new law. The issue isn't, there's no law in the books that says that this is against the rules. It's that it's not being enforced.
Yeah.
That's what the fucked up part is, that these governments are saying, like, yeah, we don't think we need to enforce this. And it's like, motherfuckers, hop to it. If it was a fridge, if it was a car, y'all would be all over it.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's the problem is that it's like gaming is attached to tech, and tech is like, when it comes to regulation and stuff, tech is like, governments are so far behind. Like, you know, like they're like fucking like 30 years behind the curve when it comes to like regulations with tech. And so a lot of the issues that you're seeing with gaming is indicative of that greater issue. And I'm hoping it's going to come to a head soon, particularly with the AI bubble and shit like that. Tech is coming under more scrutiny now, but, you know, we'll probably have to live through a fucking depression before actual regulations come into play.
Yeah, hang on.
Games industry.
Wait, can I mute?
Alert! A Covenant is making a run for that stationary gun. Take him out.
Oh.
So yeah, that's an interesting thing that's going to be coming up. It actually is that way already in a few states. So I've been talking to people like, is this a good idea here locally?
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Is that if you've sold well, if you're doing well, you share numbers. If a game does not share sales numbers, chances are it is not delivering the expectations that people were hoping.
I think we
Starfield.
Well, see, but we do know that.
Yeah.
They just didn't.
Well,
it's just not official.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's pieced together.
It's like we know it sold.
We know the number of people who have played it on Game Pass.
Well, see, yeah, we know the number of people who played it on Game Pass definitively. They've announced that. It was reverse engineered based on, it sold less than Mortal Kombat, and we knew how much Mortal Kombat sold.
Yeah,
that's the way that we know that it was roughly 4 to 5 million.
For. But one of the problems with the Xbox Series, other than just kind of losing a lot of people to PlayStation over the last generation, one of the problems is that it doesn't have a killer app, because the new Halo game, Halo Infinite, which was planned for launch, is delayed to fall.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. The concept of killer apps is over.
Yeah, that too. But also, Halo Infinite, my guy, nobody was waiting for Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite, like, they had to beg people to even...
The 2,000 fans that unconditionally like 343 Halo.
Yeah.
The bot farm was excited.
Infinite was long past. So, like, it's shocking Infinite even got made with how badly Halo 5 did. If they had been, if Xbox and Microsoft had been any more like intelligent, they would have just put the whole franchise on ice after Halo 5. Like, that's, nobody was waiting for Infinite. That's not why the console didn't sell. Like, that Infinite wasn't there at launch. Like, no.
Well, and shit, Halo 3 wasn't there for launch.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people forget, Halo 3 came out 18 months after the 360 released.
Yeah.
And the 360 still sold like crazy. So let's not go with the cope that it wasn't a launch title.
2021. It is having all sorts of development issues. That's a story for another day. And man, I talked about budgets on a previous video. Maybe one day I'll talk a little bit about Halo Infinite and its challenges and its budget. The budget behind that game is...
We already know all that. We don't...
Yeah.
Like, it was like $500 million. It was rebooted several times. There's a ton that they worked on that just never got released. It had a ton of issues with its engine.
Yeah.
Everything that went wrong with Halo Infinite's been pretty covered. We don't need your We don't need the intel you've been withholding. Could you please stop withholding intel?
Unless there's some like juicy drama that was
There's
going
some-
on with like
Look, there's some
people
female.
stealing breast milk.
Yeah, there's some female game devs at Blizzard who would still be alive if you weren't withholding this kind of stuff.
Oof. Ugh.
Is I think larger than most people would ever even guess. That game winds up coming out in fall of 2021, and I think has a kind of strong start, but like ultimately winds up
hold on. We're glossing over the demo that they showed that everybody made fun of.
Yeah, Greg.
Greg
Is
the
it any
Brute.
wonder that the brutes look good? The brutes look like the best in C make.
Game winds up coming out in fall of 2021, and
I've heard the name I've heard that I might go with is CE2.
CE2. That's a good one too.
I think it's got to be a name that takes away from the SEO heat trick they're trying to do by calling it Halo CE again.
Yeah.
I think has a kind of strong start, but like ultimately winds up disappointing.
I was actually thinking about this morning because I've been thinking about Halo because of the remake, and I was like, what's funny about Halo Infinite is that year Call of Duty had a bad year, Battlefield had a bad year.
Yeah.
Infinite had a strong launch, and you know full well Activision and EA weren't even sweating. They were not even worried that 343 was going to be like competition. They were just like, it's a bad year, the Battlefield fans will come back, and they did. The Call of Duty fans will come back, and they did. Like, they weren't even concerned that Halo was like going to take back over.
Very, very safe bet to assume that 343 would drop the ball again.
Yeah, that's just
Well,
what's crazy, yeah.
Well, like what's crazy is that it was a build as a live service game. It's going to be around for a decade. They launched the game and they're like, we don't have any content, and we don't have anything else to like release for the next few months. And it's like, bruh.
I think CE2 is going to be a better remake / remaster than Rebellion. Low bar, I know. I think it's going to be interesting to talk about, but it's going to have flaws. And it's just like, that's because 343 can't do anything without having some flaws.
Well, I mean, again, they're not even really making the game. So much of it has been outsourced.
Yeah, Halo Studios.
be-
They're called that because of the studios they're outsourcing making Halo to.
It's gonna be interesting. I am not fucking paying for this game though. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Players. Again, story for another time. So it's 2021. Xbox hardware sales are not where they need to be. Its initiatives like cloud, which is the idea that like you could stream a game to a device and play it using Microsoft's servers, and so you don't need to buy an expensive piece of hardware to play it. That initiative has not really taken off in a big way. Game Pass has done fairly well, but
I don't think I've ever had this many Marines at this point in Truth and Reconciliation, because I thought you were only supposed to get the reinforcement wave if the Marines had died leading up to this part of the level. So like, it's crazy that I have almost the entire full squad from the start of the level, and then an additional full squad from the reinforcement wave.
I wonder if they're all going to come up. There's
No, I have had it where there's at least 5 Marines, and you always start with like 4.
Yeah.
camp.
Subscriptions have kind of owed. There isn't a ton of growth in it. COVID has led to a lot of big gaming growth. Interest rates are at zero. A lot of crazy acquisitions going on. And Phil Spencer takes a big swing. Activision Blizzard at this point is facing a lot of turmoil. It's dealing with misconduct lawsuits and a lot of exposés written about it. And Phil Spencer decides to buy it for nearly $70 billion.
I wonder if that buyout, because I don't think they needed to be bought out to remain like solvent or anything like that. I think they were doing fine. I think Bobby Kotick just wanted
No, it was a cash out buyout. It was not a bad financial situation buyout.
Yeah.
In the slightest.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse, because it's like
no, it was worse.
You're going to be buying it at a premium.
It was one of the most dog shit deals possible.
You're gonna be paying it at a premium.
Phil Spencer bought Activision high.
Yeah.
He bought high and he's selling low. Like.
Yeah. He probably should have let them bleed a little bit more.
I think I might be wrong. I think there's a third Marine wave if they all happen to die here, but this is pretty fun.
It's the equivalent of 28 Minecrafts in a deal that is announced in January of 2022.
No, I mean, listen to yourself there for a second. 28 Minecrafts. You really think Activision Blizzard's worth that much? We're talking about like a crusty old MMO, a first-person shooter franchise that is good sometimes, and King, which is like an admittedly decent mobile publisher.
Yeah.
But like, that is an industry that itself is fucked.
Yeah.
So we've got 5 Marines.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think they did their due diligence. They were just like, yeah, you know, World of Warcraft's doing good, Call of Duty's doing good, and they just, like, did not look under the hood whatsoever. Probably because the fucking Phil Spencer's bosses were not really giving a shit. They're just, like, man, tech was in such a weird place in 2020. 'Cause there's, like, so much just, like, fake money, like, coming in. Like, all the, you can imagine how much money Microsoft was making with, like, Teams, right, during 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably had their hands full.
It's funny that he said, you might get to this, but pretty much every hobby that blew up during COVID has died since then.
Yeah.
This has been a big thing in, like, bike and mountain biking. And bikepacking is there was a ton of interest during COVID, and it's slowed down a lot since then.
Are you telling me that hobbies that require time, once people stop having that free time, they're not able to engage in the hobby anymore?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not just a lack of. It's not just a lack of. Is people doing it? It's a lack of interest.
Yeah, especially like games and stuff too. It's like I would have been. I was saying it at the time. I'm like, don't count on this being forever, because the pendulum is going to swing. People are, once like the lockdowns are done and everything, people aren't going to want to fucking touch anything related to games and stuff. They're going to be outside and everything. You're going to be seeing, like, if you want to be investing right now, you should be buying fucking like commercial properties. You should be buying
restaurants, music concerts.
Restaurants, exactly. Yeah, shit like that. You should be investing into maybe not, you know, the cruise ships and stuff. They're gonna have a long uphill battle, but certainly at least like airlines and shit like that. That's where you should be putting your money and stuff. Granted, the airlines then had their own fuck ups and stuff. I mean, everybody's been having their own fuck ups with the COVID hangover since, but certainly at least like live venue entertainment and stuff like that, that's been doing well.
Hey, we've got 5
Restaurants
Marines.
and stuff have been doing well.
But one of them turned into Sergeant Johnson. The elevator that turns you black.
But
is he Tucker?
few reasons that this deal makes sense from Xbox's perspective. Call of Duty is one of the biggest franchises in the world, and it could be a huge growth driver
hang
for
on, Jason. It does not make sense from Xbox's perspective. There's no smart business person that would buy Activision when they were bought out. Bethesda, sure. Bethesda makes sense.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Post Fallout 76, ESO's in a lull. Their mobile games aren't particularly glamorous. Like, that was a good time to buy Bethesda. Even if it's been a stinker since, you can understand the logic of that buyout. With Activision, it's just like, no, you bought the peak.
And again, that's why Bobby Kotick was probably pushing to sell, is because he knew.
Well, it was the same thing going on at ZeniMax. I mean, they were interested in a buyout after Fallout 4.
Yeah.
A lot of
Game Pass, you get
a lot of those companies are run by people who want to be bought out by companies like Microsoft.
Yeah. Again, the Walt. Yeah, I hated Bobby Kotick. I still kind of do, but I also respect him. He's probably the biggest winner in the fucking games industry at this point.
Yeah, it's just, God, if only things had played out differently. It's just like gamers had no fucking standards in in 2012, and so it's I remember when people used to when anytime there was a controversy about a game company, there was just a bunch of bootlickers who would show up in the comments to say, like, well, companies exist to make money.
Yeah.
And they would just regurgitate that shit over and over. And you do not see it now like you used to.
No. It's actually the complete opposite now. Now I'm actually a little concerned that people are a bit too ravenous. It's like, you gotta let the companies cook from time to time, all right? Like, but yeah, no, it's kind of, I mean, and it's also indicative of just like the general economy and stuff too. That's really what it's always tied to. 2012 and stuff, people were doing pretty all right. Now not so much.
That's the locked door down there.
As day one on Game Pass every year, you get a lot of people subscribing to Game Pass for that. Blizzard isn't quite what it used to be. You can read that story in Play Nice. The book that I published a couple.
You really want to shill the book? You really want to shill the book?
He's got to hustle, man. You know.
Mm-hmm. I saw that shit at a Barnes and Noble. I was like, "There's no way in hell I'm buying it new."
Years ago, but it still has killer franchises. Diablo, Overwatch, and World of Warcraft was and remains.
Okay, sorry, he's talking 2021. I mean, even in 2021, LOL.
Mm-hmm.
Are you? Overwatch 2 was dead on arrival, and it was dead on arrival because Overwatch was dead at that point.
Dead. Yeah. Like, Overwatch was popular, was doing well for like its first year. And that was basically
its first year if you count the beta.
Yeah. No, mention the real money maker here, Jason. It was what's it called? Hearthstone.
A guaranteed money. That's always a good investment. Activision Blizzard also owns King, the makers of Candy Crush, which gives Xbox a presence on mobile that it never had before. I think Xbox is looking at mobile as a growth opportunity at this point. Mobile is a really tough market to get into and to find success in, but Candy Crush is one of the games that has found success over the years. So
it really isn't. The key to the mobile market is just get shit.
Spam. Yeah, it's just spam the attack strategy. I know that's hard for the Western games industry. The idea of making more than one game a decade. at a company.
Yeah.
But it's really not hard.
Yeah. Especially when you're doing projects like Blades, where it's, half the assets are just stripped from Skyrim. Like, you can easily do that shit with any game.
Yeah,
And then just
where
keep
the fuck's
reusing
the
those. Once you
acknowledgement
have
that
the assets, it's there.
where's the acknowledgement that they bought Bethesda and ZeniMax, who had mobile games?
Yeah.
They have four
Successful ones, too.
like
Fallout-
decent,
Fallout Shelter.
yes, Fallout Shelter, like decently successful mobile games.
No, they got King though.
A good investment. Now, I won't get into all the nitty gritty of the regular.
Does Jason
Also,
know how
here's-
business works?
I don't think so. Because he was saying like it gives them a presence on the mobile platforms. It's like, no, it doesn't.
And that's not worth
King
anything.
King is present there. Sure, they'll make money off of that on the back end, but if their idea of getting into the mobile market is, oh, we're just going to buy King, like that's not how you go about it.
That's Microsoft's everything, though. Like,
Yeah.
under Phil Spencer was, we need to get into this market. Who can we buy? Not who can we buy that's already successful at it, not who can we buy that is working on it and is a visionary and like isn't successful now but would be successful in the future.
Yeah.
AI investment is going to get bailed out by the government. Yeah, but not all of it.
No, I mean that's going to be key, is who does get bailed out and who does not get bailed out.
There's no way
Like
Sam
that.
Altman is still alive in like 2 years.
Oh no. Oh no.
That OpenAI is going to
Him
fall
and his-
apart, and they're going to shove a grenade in his ass and throw him out of a helicopter.
Oh.
Like,
Oh yeah. He's going to get Epstein for sure. Like they're gonna lock him up for some sort of security frauds thing, and then he somehow magically shot himself in the back of the head.
3 times. Sorry, the classic 7 times with a revolver. He was really dedicated to it. I was reading about, there was something about Epstein, and it was like, they said the floor of his cell was covered in nooses, and I was like, why did he make multiple? Was that, it was just like, this is my first attempt, but it didn't work, so here we're gonna go. It sounds like someone took their directions too literally. It's like, strangle him and then leave a noose in the room, and they were just like tying nooses all day and then left like 30 of them.
But no, OpenAI does not exist. When the consolidation comes, OpenAI does not exist. They do not get a buyout. They do not get a bailout. They don't get jack shit. Anthropic will probably get bought out. But it's going to, the industry will consolidate under the big 3, and that's going to be Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. And then on the tech side, you have AMD and Nvidia and stuff like that. But I'm talking more software side. I really don't see anybody else. I don't think there's room in the industry for anybody else. Sorry, Meta, you're kind of fucked. Meta's death has been a very long time coming.
A company that manages to
hoping-
resist like nature.
Yeah.
So like, to Schreier's point, if you were gonna say, I want to invest into role-playing games, and you said a good business decision would be to invest in Bethesda, you're not a good investor. You're not good at business. You want to invest in role-playing games right now? Do you know who you invest in? You invest in like the Ardenfall guys, you invest in the Tainted
Yes.
Grail people, and it's like,
Yeah.
you put money down on like 3 to 5 companies that are working on RPGs right now. Some of them are gonna fail, but the bet you're making is that one of them is gonna blow up and succeed. That's how you
Yes.
do good business. You don't buy Bethesda and then say, look, we have exposure to the RPG market now.
You have bad exposure. You have the exposure that risk management would tell you.
Yeah, even if it was Larian, even if it was somebody who was doing good in the space right now, you don't buy a successful company and then say, look at me, I'm good at business.
Yeah. Because again, you're buying, like if you bought Larian right now, you are buying at the peak.
You are buying somebody else's bag who invested in them when they weren't as big as they are now.
Yes. Yeah.
The same thing with Bethesda. You're buying Robert Altman's investment in the company.
Yeah. It's, man.
So like that's my frustration with this point is he keeps like glazing Microsoft for making good decisions when it's like, no, these aren't good decisions. Are you kidding?
Yeah. These decisions are why Phil Spencer got fired. Like these are the purchases that got him fired, like launched out of the fucking cannon. You don't go spending money like this, because it's insane too. Imagine like if they just taken a quarter of the value that they paid.
And see,
for,
like okay,
ZeniMax.
Let's look at ZeniMax, right? That made sense because ZeniMax makes money and Sony was about to get them.
Yes.
That's the reason that you buy ZeniMax. There's no fucking way Sony was going to buy Blizzard.
Yeah.
So it's like there's not even a defensive aspect of we're denying Sony access to this company.
Yeah. But it goes back to this idea of like it all stems from the idea that Xbox and Microsoft, they're not gamers. They just aren't.
Yeah.
They don't know what gamers want. They don't play games. They don't have any remote anything even resembling taste in video games. So the idea of them going out and buying Ardenfall and like, you know, those fledgling indie startups, like they're not even indie darlings yet. They're just, you have to be like in the know.
But wait, hold on. Why would I spend $5 million buying Spellcast when they don't even have a game out? What am I buying? What am I buying? Idiot. Why would I pick this up for a song when I could drop $70 billion by the World of Warcraft guys? I'm buying WoW.
Yeah. It wouldn't even cost, like, you're talking like investments that are measured in maybe $1 million.
God, I wish I had someone else's $1 billion to spend on gaming companies. You fucking kidding me? That's what I want to know about the fucking like Ludwig Pirate Software Company is like. You guys couldn't hack it, really?
Yeah. Well, again, you gotta have an actual good taste in games. It's always validating when I'll like buy like an indie game or something like that on Steam and it has like, you know, like maybe like 300 reviews or something, and then I go back to it like 6 months later and it has like 10,000 and it's like very positive and stuff, and it's just like okay. That's the thing. It's like you need to hire people who, you need consultants. You need people like us, basically.
You especially don't.
Yeah,
well, they need us just to like get a fucking pulse on the market.
Yeah. I mean, like that's what's crazy, is that they are just so completely out of touch that they can't even function. They can't even do their job anymore. They can't do, like, how do you do research if you don't have people who have taste? Like, because again, they're not creative people. They're just business people, and they're bad business people at that. Because if they were good, they would be working in an industry that actually makes fucking money.
Regulatory process, but essentially it was a very messy battle that wound up taking 18 months to close. The deal was announced in January of 2022, and it didn't close until October of 2023. And during that period of time, the climate changed quite a bit. All of that COVID growth went away and started sputtering, and it became clear that the video game industry was not going to.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. That's the other thing too. You're buying out Activision Blizzard or whatever, and it's just like immediately triggers an anti-monopoly investigation and everything like that. So not only are you buying on the peak, but now you have to pay millions of dollars in legal fees. You have to go through court for all this time. All the while, you cannot touch their assets. You cannot do whatever. So it's like they're going to be bleeding. They're going to be losing value and stuff as the clock ticks down. How is this a good business move? Man.
Digit growth again. Roblox started exploding. A lot of other service initiatives did not fail. AI began to take over. ChatGPT launched in that same around this time that Activision, the Activision deal closed and became this sensation, this kind of cultural phenomenon, and companies, including Microsoft, were
Sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call it a cultural phenomenon. I don't think people.
No, Joe Rogan would talked about AI at this time period. So.
I don't think people would be getting heckled off stage at graduation commencements if it was a cultural phenomenon.
It was
maybe
it was controversial from the start.
Yeah.
looking over and saying, how about this AI thing? And I wonder, after that 18-month messy process that really led to a lot of problems, I wonder how many people at Xbox...
Also, not for nothing, but 18 months to make a purchase like that is actually pretty quick.
18 months to sit around regretting it.
Yeah. A lot of buyouts and stuff, they could take like up to 5 years. So the fact that they were able to curb stomp the FTC in 18 months and like Microsoft got off very easy.
Well, and talk about total fuck ups.
Oh yeah.
Do we blame that on Biden?
I don't
was
know.
Was that a bad appointment on his part? Like
somebody there was throwing. I don't think it was ever. They just wanted to make it look like they were opposing, but no. I mean, that was like what a fucking slam dunk to then just snatching defeat from the jaws of victory there for the FTC for sure.
We're still thrilled about that particular acquisition. Because around then is when Microsoft began to issue a new mandate to Xbox. Microsoft, its CEO, its CFO, they began to put on a little bit more pressure than there had been on Xbox before. Suddenly, it became all about profitability.
Yeah, it kind of weird that, after Phil Spencer spent upwards of like $80 billion, suddenly his bosses kind of want to know what the ROI on that is.
It would be so funny if like
Phil Spencer would still have a job if he didn't make that buyout.
Who was CEO during this time period? Was it the Nutella guy? But like it's so funny to imagine that he's like reading Twitter and like there's some Xbox shill who's bragging about, yeah, Microsoft's got a $150 billion war chest to acquire game companies, and he's like, they do? What the he immediately fucking calls Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty into a meeting and is like, what in the fuck have you guys been doing?
Yeah. No, I mean, I really, that's part of my argument is that like during that time period, like 2020, 2021, 22, Microsoft had their hands full with like so many things going on at the same time that they just weren't paying attention to Xbox. Because who the fuck gives a shit about Xbox? It's not profitable. It's never been, never will be, whatever. But then, yeah, somehow they managed to get the accountants and legal to agree to sign off on $80 billion for an acquisition that's now being fought in court and shit like that.
It is the
Wild.
moment of when Chris Chan's dad is confronting him about videos he's posting, and he's like, "So, do you realize what you've done here? If the health department sees those videos that you put on the internet."
Because Microsoft is looking over, and between the $69 billion acquisition, a lack of Game Pass growth, and this newfound focus that Microsoft wants to have on AI, they say, hey, we want to see a bit more of a return on this massive investment that we made into Xbox. And by the way, I think that like $69 billion is a huge number. $69 billion is an incredible.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that was like a record.
Asking for the bare minimum of, can you guys make money if you're at least if you're gonna spend this much money, can you at least be profitable? What an insane ask.
No, I'm pretty sure that was the biggest buyout in history, if I'm recalling correctly. Certainly was in entertainment. But it might have been like in history. I'm pretty sure it's been upstaged since, but yeah, the enormity of this sum cannot be understated. And the fact that it was Phil Spencer, of all people,
buying
who
a
got to
game
pull the
company
trigger on this. Good lord. This is honestly, this acquisition is probably why the European initiative is like taking the EU is taking the SKG initiative seriously, because remember, like when this buyout was going through, the EU were like, they were kind of the bulwark, because we knew the FTC was gonna fucking rubber stamp it, like it was obvious, but the EU was like actually holding out for a while, and I think the UK was actually the
yeah,
they were the longest holdout.
I remember when that was going on, there were people who were like, Microsoft's going to stop doing business in the UK over this.
Yeah.
Which, like, sure, they're not formally part of the EU, but, you know, they have influence in that sphere.
Yeah. But, yeah, so, like, this buyout it really does lend a lot of credibility to SKG that this is a massive industry with tons of money moving around.
To have no regulation.
Yeah. Like, you guys have to be, like, looking into this shit at this point.
Amount of money that Xbox wound up paying for Activision Blizzard. But that's just the start. Like, the actual number that you are paying is so much bigger than you could even imagine, because in addition to...
Yeah, that's why I kept quoting 80 billion when the purchase was 69. The sticker price is never what you actually pay for this.
What you're paying in itself, whatever closing costs and regulatory like lawyer costs for the regulatory battles that come with it, you are also bringing in 10,000 new employees who all need to be paid and managed, and you need managers within the Xbox org to spend their time watching.
So CRT cam is down.
How long did it last? Like over 2 hours?
2 hours
RIP
plus whenever
chain.
I restarted the stream. So yeah. Next week it will last longer. I'm getting a dummy battery, which means that it can be plugged into the wall. But yeah, RIP the CRT cam.
Yeah.
Over that org, and suddenly your entire organization is way more expensive than it was a year ago, and those costs are not going away. They are continuing. So you got to consider that as well. If you want to know more about burn rates and why these game companies cost so much to operate, check out my previous video about why games cost so much to make. But basic rule of thumb is that it used to be about $10,000 per employee per month. That number has gone up. I think it's closer these days, especially in expensive cities, to 15,000, maybe even 20,000, somewhere between those two.
Yeah, and these people are acting like they're like some oppressed class, and meanwhile, like, they are lavishly paid. It is lucrative to be a game developer, and these people are like, the finances made sense when you were able to extort them for 100-hour work weeks.
Yeah. No, this is why you're seeing so many small studios and stuff that are successful, financially successful, all operating as 100% remote, because you can afford it. Now it's not, oh, we need to pay people because they live in LA. It's like, yeah, we're going to pay you this or whatever. I hope you live in a cheap area. Which most people are perfectly fine to do. Most people want to move out of the insanely expensive areas where they were just shackled because that's where the jobs were and stuff. So it's kind of a win-win.
It's not just salary, it also includes overhead and costs associated with employees. You can kind of fold rent into there, office rent into there. Benefits here in the US, employers have to pay a lot of money for health insurance and other benefits, including 401k matching and other things that employees like to have and deserve to have. So huge burn rate that is coming
that in
along
there
with
last second.
Yeah,
Because he's making it sound like a bad thing, and he's like, but they deserve it.
Yeah. Again, he's an industry guy, and yeah, the peons who actually make the games and stuff. I mean, yeah, he was AI. It's a cultural phenomenon. Jason, how much are you invested into OpenAI?
At $69 billion acquisition costs. And so that around the time of that acquisition and suddenly the push for profitability, that's when we start to see things getting really bad. Xbox has 4 mass layoffs in 2 years. We see the shutdowns, the closures of studios under the Xbox umbrella, like Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks, which wound up going to Crafton, which saved that studio. We see...
Yeah. For how long?
Well, aren't they basically out?
Tango Gameworks?
Oh, sorry. When he said Crafton, and I was like, oh yeah, Subnautica 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they're. I don't know why they even had a publisher to begin with. Like that was just a bad move on their part entirely. Subnautica 1 was so big they could have become a publisher.
The era of publishers is like been over.
Yeah.
It's like if you want the marketing and the legal accountability, like there are companies that specialize in that.
Yeah.
Cancellations of big, expensive projects like Perfect Dark and Everwild and Blackbird, which is the code name that I reported at Bloomberg for the project that ZeniMax Online Studios was working on. They made Elder Scrolls Online, and they were working on this Blackbird thing, which, by the way, so I've seen footage of that game. It's pretty cool, and it's an online shooter. Destiny just died. And if Xbox had a game like Blackbird ready to go to kind of fill that void that Destiny has left, man, that could have been a hit.
No,
I'm skeptical.
I'm very skeptical. First off, because it's being made by ZeniMax.
No, they had to pull it out of Phil Spencer's hands, and we know how good of a businessman Phil Spencer is.
Yeah. And also, Destiny died because the entire genre itself is kind of dying. A lot of games are kind of... What few games are allowed to exist in that sphere, like Arc Raiders and stuff, I would not bet on that at all. Especially from a studio like ZeniMax. Like... No, that was definitely a good idea on their part, was to cancel that fucking thing, and they should never greenlit it to begin with. But no, I'm happy they fucking canceled that thing, because the odds of it succeeding were so low.
I've heard nothing but good things about that game. Some of the people who are that game, granted, big, very expensive project, spent a lot of time in development, was having struggles of its own, but everything I've heard about that game is so positive that it's really a shame that it was canceled, I think, because I think it could have helped fill a much needed gap for Xbox, right?
No. Who? According to who?
If
Are
only
these the
there
same
was
people who were saying High Guard was going to be good.
God, if only there was a game company at Microsoft that could fill the first-person shooter kind of sci-fi niche. If only I could think of a company that could just fill that gap. But Microsoft, they don't have anything like that.
If only, man, imagine if they had a live service game from that studio that, you know, like, that had some traction and stuff when it was launching, and I just can't.
An opening in the market, an opportunity to be competitive.
It's a yeah, no, it's like that's what was going to happen with this fucking ZeniMax project. Let's be real. They were gonna fuck it up like everything else because Microsoft Microsoft is just a clown show at this point. So stop with the it was huge. It was huge. It cost a lot of money. So it's like, yeah, stop doing that. That's
That's the problem.
That's your indication. That's your indication right here. If it's gonna cost a lot of money, if it's gonna be really complicated, it's gonna require a huge team and stuff. No, fucking no. Stop. Just stop spending money. That's how you get out of this shit. Stop spending money like it doesn't exist, like it's not real. Start spending money like it's an actual resource that you need to be conserving. Again, he's absolutely an industry guy. And this is the problem too. It's like Jason Schreier is like, you know, he's a respected voice in this industry, and it's like you have this guy saying like, oh yeah, the ZeniMax's Blackbird thing, that was probably gonna be huge. It's like, if he's saying something, do the opposite, all right?
Yeah, the Jim Cramer effect.
Yeah.
Somewhere under the sky, the cartographer is a map.
Oh, geez. Okay, let's.
Anyway, so more pressure for profitability. This is around the time that Xbox and the beginning of 2024 starts dabbling with Switch and PlayStation. Soon it's putting everything on multiple consoles as it tries to fix its P&Ls. Becomes much harder to get straight answers if you're working at one of these studios as to what your goals are, as to what you should be trying to do. Becomes much more complicated to get games greenlit. You're dealing with Xbox finance a lot and trying to figure out like why you're hearing different things depending who you ask. Remember at the beginning of this how I mentioned that Microsoft is...
That's the information that I want, Schreier. That's good information.
Yeah, skip all the glazing for a second and just tell us that like,
yeah,
they just didn't have the leadership infrastructure when the belt tightened to actually give people a cohesive idea of what the plan was.
That's wild. Which is exactly like, you know,
it makes
not at
sense,
all surprising. Yeah. But it's still like, to actually hear it that is funny. I mean, it's sad, but it's also funny.
This big, complicated organization with a lot of different tentacles, a lot of people who have different goals and kind of...
I will say, so like with Sony, for example, typically like the game developers that get laid off hear about it in the news before they find out that it's actually happened.
Yeah.
That happens with Microsoft.
Yeah, that they do seem. I think it's probably because the expectation is that you're gonna get laid off. It's happened so much at this point. It's just like
Let's go find the map.
everybody has like one foot out the door already, anyways. Also, these studios do seem to be just like a giant revolving door. That's again another issue that, like, how do you even make good games when you have no veteran talent? Like, everybody just leaves or gets laid off, or what was that thing? I think Will Shen was talking about it, or somebody was talking about it at Bethesda, where it was like, you could only work on certain projects for a certain amount of time, and then you had to leave for a while and then come back. And that was a Microsoft mandate.
Yeah,
like a policy.
I don't know if Will Shen talked about it, but Microsoft does 18 on, 6 off.
Yeah.
For benefit, like insurance reasons.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
So
they
it's
can get
like-
away with not offering a certain tier of insurance if like
Yeah.
you're not considered a full-time employee.
Yes.
Which is like, it's funny that's the salary version of like you can't work more than 32 hours a week.
Yeah, I was very familiar with that in my last job. We called it 28 and 8.
Own like objectives that sometimes are in conflict with one another. That becomes even more pronounced at this point. You have, even within the Xbox org, you have a lot of political fights, a lot of people who are at odds with one another, who are not on the same page.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, and this is fundamentally why Microsoft is fucked as a company, and why they will never be able to be successful in a creative venture. It's because there's just so much. It's like a country, right?
Yeah.
There's so much politicking and stuff because there's so much money at stake. There's so much power and stuff. So there's constant politicking and stuff. All the big tech companies are like this. They're fucking hell on earth. I don't know why anybody would want to work at any of these fucking companies. You'd have to be a sociopath in order to want to work here, which also again makes me question like Phil Spencer in general and stuff. You should question basically anybody who's at the heads of these companies and pretty much assume that they are a sociopath on some level, because like that's pretty much what it takes to get to those positions.
It is messy. The last couple of years at Xbox have been quite messy. People start openly questioning Game Pass and talking about how it cannibalizes their sales. And my colleague Cecilia D'Anastasio at Bloomberg has reported on the huge numbers that are estimated, hundreds of millions that were estimated to have been lost on Call of Duty by putting that on Game Pass. Because
we talk about this. Hundreds of millions? That sounds pretty in line with our Starfield stuff.
No, again, it's like even my Outer Worlds 2 video, I was saying like how much money did developers lose putting their games day one on Game Pass and stuff. And it's like, here are the numbers now.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. 10 million players, $70 a piece. Of course, you can't assume somebody that plays on Game Pass was going to be a $70 sale, but some of them would have been. And it's like, if even like half of that figure, that 10 million figure, would have bought the game at $70, that's $350 million just left on the table.
That's probably the budget of the game.
And it's just like, just imagine that for everything that they're doing. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Indiana Jones thing, I think if we go by that figure, probably lost like $150 million in potential revenue.
How did them? There's no way that game made money.
No, there's
Because,
not.
Remember, they have to pay franchise fees on that shit too. So it's like the franchise owners and stuff, they get first dibs on any profits made. So
Bobby said this out loud at the FTC trial, LOL. Yeah, once again, Bobby Kotick being right about fucking Microsoft.
Imagine selling out to the guy who's laughing in your face how much you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
This is what, like, God, Phil Spencer is such a fucking moron. Just absolute clown. Again, this is why, like, I kind of respect Bobby Kotick. It's just like he took advantage.
He was a lizard man, but good lord.
He saw a mark, and good lord, did he cash out on it.
You put a game on Game Pass, you are losing
hundreds of millions in losses.
It reminds me of In the Wire, the senator. He's stringing along Stringer Bell.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, and like after Stringer dies, and he's talking to talking to one of the detectives. It's just like, we milked that guy. We got him to go outside his lawyer, and we milked him dry. Like, that's how I imagine Kotick is like at his fucking like yacht clubs now. It's just like retelling the tale of how he just like fucking scammed, just bold-faced scammed Microsoft.
Losing a lot of money as a result, even though you are like, again, like I said, different orgs have different, within the organization, different groups have kind of competing goals. And so what might be really good for the Game Pass folks and for subscriptions there might not be so good for individual studios and the revenue brought in from individual games. By the way,
I think the wishful thinking was that people who were saving money on not buying the game would then spend that money on microtransactions instead. And that's probably why there was such a big push to get creations and stuff launched on Starfield like as soon as possible, because that was probably one of the pitches that Microsoft made to them. They're like, oh, we have this, this statistics and research we did that say that, 50% of people will spend 90% more in microtransactions and stuff if they don't have to pay for the game. And I doubt that very much.
I think it was just the hype of a subscription service.
Yeah.
There's probably a cloud gaming component to it. We'll get people renting their games, and then that'll just normalize the idea that, like, why would you ever own games? Why would you need to own hardware? And then it's like, then we can economy of scale, just like fucking spam data centers. You'll do cloud gaming on a data center. Sorry, hate to break it to you, that's what the cloud is a data center.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, that'll be more efficient than ever making Xboxes ever would have been. And it's like, cloud gaming imploded. So you had this drive to sell subscriptions that it wasn't economically feasible. It made no fucking sense.
The house of cards built on sand.
Just a little quick side note is that, like, the way the accounting works at Xbox is that you have if you're a game studio, you have your P&L, and the org actually attributes a certain amount within that P&L as like imagined revenue essentially, for what you for like the number of hours that people are playing your game on Game Pass. I believe they call it member weighted value is the term that they use. Microsoft has a lot of funny terms.
Yeah, they have a lot of funny terms to fucking fool investors and fool auditors. I mean, that's really what they're doing, is trying to fool the auditors.
Yeah, I mean, that's jargon.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the point of jargon, is to add layers of obfuscation and confusion so that nobody can actually discern the truth of it. It's the same shit that's like done with software ownership, right? It's like, well, you don't own a physical thing, and it's got these. People treat it like it's this ethereal thing that's fundamentally different when it's not.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is that there's layers of obfuscation. Well, I don't know what code is, so you can't own it. You can't own software. And it's like, yeah, sure you can. It's not gnomes. It's not gnomes in your computer doing it for you.
It's literally just
it's fucking electrons trapped on a silicon wafer.
It's like saying you can't own a book. It's fundamentally the same thing. You write code, you write a book.
Yeah, no, it's information. You're not buying I mean, you are buying the physical print of it, but like clearly what's being transacted is the physical information.
Yeah. And it's like,
the only reason they get away with that is that there's so much jargon surrounding software that they're able to just like, no, it's Rust, it's machine code, it's C++. You don't understand any of that, so it's different.
instead of profit margin, they call it accountability margin. And the big number there was 30%, as I've reported on Bloomberg with my colleague Dina Bass. And so on your P&L, on your profit and loss sheet, you might see a number that is like, hey, here's how much you would have made, or here's how much you're getting an attribution in revenue from being on Game Pass. And people question that number, I think, because it's all just kind of funny math.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's all tricky accounting.
It's great to think that Microsoft or Xbox was burning both ends, right? They were fucking gaslighting. Actually, they were just gaslighting everybody. They're gaslighting the developers. They're gaslighting the customers, and they're gaslighting the investors and the auditors and the.
Yeah, nobody's telling the truth in this situation.
No.
It's just like, I mean, shit. That's in a script that I wrote that is just like, we've got 10 million. I think it's in the Starfield thing I made for patrons. But like, we've got 10 million Game Pass subscriptions. Therefore, our projected profit is $18 quintillion. It's just like, we'll just assume that this person will be subscribed to Game Pass for the rest of their lives and never play another game on it. Like,
yeah.
So,
somebody's got to bully the data scientist majors, or they get like funny ideas.
It's messy, and again, expectations are not 100% clear. A lot of people are just kind of unhappy with the situation. People have different beliefs throughout the org as to whether Game Pass really cannibalizes sales or not. I don't think there's you can't A/B test that sort of thing. So
yeah, by design, that's why they do it. It's kind of. I'm gonna do a little cringe Redditor stuff here right now. It's why like I don't really believe in organized religions, because like the concept itself is something that you cannot argue against, and therefore that automatically makes me skeptical. And
yeah,
it's the
it's
same thing here.
Self-affirming.
It's like the onus is to then disprove it, something that cannot be disproved, and it's just like no, it's not how this works. You prove it to me. You show me the sales numbers. I don't want to hear ethereal, made up, fucking shit that you pulled out of your ass crack. I want hard numbers.
How much money did you make from Game Pass subscriptions of people playing Starfield?
Yes. And it is something that can be calculated. It can be calculated.
They do it for premium. They do it for YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
YouTubers get a cut of the premium revenue based on how much watch time that you gave them on your premium account.
Yeah. This can be done quite easily. The problem is they don't want to do that. That's the key here. And again, it comes back to, how is this even legal?
There isn't really evidence one way or another, but I think it's, to me, the eye test, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to me that like if a game is on Game Pass and you could buy it or you could play it just by paying $10 for a couple of months, or you could spend $70 on it, that seems like a no-brainer choice that you would.
Well, yeah, and that's what we call just the sanity test, right? Like, just say it out loud. This is why, like, this is how you know Game Pass is just a fucking scam for everybody involved, right? It's just because if you say it out loud, it doesn't make sense. But they're doing it anyway, and they're spending billions of dollars into this thing. When you say it out loud, it's just like, how does this make money? And when you ask them how does it make money, they're just like, insane.
Just get Game Pass for a month or two instead. But I mean, this is all estimates. This is all just people kind of conjecturing. So yeah, things are bad. And then at DICE of this year, I was talking to someone in management at an Xbox studio who was like, this is paraphrased, but who was like, man, there's so much uncertainty. We don't really know like how to do proper planning as we're planning ahead for the next year, the next 2 years, the next 3 years. But like, I really trust Phil Spencer. I think he's a good leader. I think he has
things that have not been said.
I'm telling you, he was a sociopath. Like, I'm calling it right now. He was a fucking snake. He had even people within the organization saying that he's a good leader, that he's intelligent and stuff, while they are watching him make the dumbest fucking moves possible over and over again. They are dealing with the direct consequences of this man's incompetence, and they are still saying, oh, but he's a good guy, he has our best interests at heart. That's when you know you are dealing with somebody who is, like, they're operating on a different level.
Tier 1 operator, but for gaslighting.
Roughly 1 week.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine being married to him? Jesus Christ.
I can't even. Like,
I'd love to go to like his barbecues, but holy shit, I would not want to like interact with him on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Just because like he's too good at the gaslighting.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what it is. It's like I should have. I never really considered it from like the gaslighting within the organization itself, right? Like I always saw it from the outside as a consumer, like them trying to gaslight me.
It always felt like
I should have known.
Yeah, it always felt like an us versus them sort of situation where, you know, it's gaslighting, but they're organized. It's just that they're doing it to us. Whereas, like, in hindsight, it makes more sense that, like, no, it was at all the levels.
Yeah. Because otherwise, then you, and this is kind of like that thing, it's Occam's razor, right? Where it's just like considering. One situation is just like a couple bad actors. The other situation is like a massive conspiracy. And it's like 9 times out of 10, it's just a couple bad actors, and everybody else is like in some way caught up in it. And it's man, it's getting juicy now.
After that conversation, Phil Spencer was replaced by Asha Sharma.
You're telling me this happened, what, 3 months ago?
Shit.
There was somebody whose opinion in 2026 was that Phil Spencer was good at this?
Halo's control center is located there.
10 years of this dumb fuck being in charge was not enough?
He made a cult. Xbox has become a cult. That Congratulations, Phil Spencer. You converted a company into a cult.
I mean, like, that's how Meta is. Meta is the Zuckerberg cult.
Yeah. Man, it's just, but at least like Zuckerberg, I can get it. He kind of has like that autistic mystique, but Spencer's just a fucking goof, and he looks goofy. Like, man, I don't know how he managed to do this.
Can we back it up and hear that again?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Man, there's so much uncertainty. We don't really know like how to do proper planning as we're planning ahead for the next year, the next 2 years, the next 3 years. But like, I really trust Phil Spencer. I think he's a good leader. I think he has our backs. Roughly 1 week after that conversation, Phil Spencer was replaced by Asha Sharma, the new CEO, who is currently running.
It's just good. Like
that's a clip. I don't know what project we got to put that into, but that's a clip.
Just a week later. The way he tells the story makes it seem like there's a continuity between that, and it's not happenstance. But
Xbox, and here we are. Asha Sharma has had a lot of time to go around, ask people questions.
You know who he sounds like? He sounds like Jeff Kaplan. He talks exactly like how Jeff Kaplan talks. The Overwatch director.
Yeah. Maybe they grew up in the same neighborhood.
I imagine they're probably both from like Southern California.
Yeah.
Is really asking for advice and their thoughts on the business. She's brought in new people, she's gotten rid of some people, and she is about to hit the reset button. She's used that word several times. Reset. The full picture isn't yet clear, but it will be within the next few weeks.
I just want to say, I'm on team Asha Sharma.
Yeah, I mean, like, your opening salvo being shit canning this many people, like,
Yes.
she is going on a purge at Microsoft. And it's like, it's hard for us to say that she's wrong because the company was just so wasteful. Like,
So, yeah.
so like, Epic Game Studios gets rid of 1,000 employees, and it's like, that's profit-seeking behavior. That is, you wanted their labor, and now you're canning them so that you can, like, save X amount of money on payroll. Asha Sharma is getting rid of people who should have never fucking been under Microsoft's umbrella to begin with. It was a bad decision to buy them out. It was a bad decision to keep them around. It was a bad decision to pay for whatever the fuck they were making for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
Like, don't sunk cost fallacy. Like, I love that she's just cutting through the sunk cost fallacy of all of these projects.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but what about Hellblade 3? And it's like...
What about it?
Bill Spencer wasted
Hellblade 2?
Bill Spencer completely wasted Hellblade 2. There's no way that there's going to be a successful Hellblade 3. Quit while you're ahead.
Yes. Man, I would love, again, like, I would just love to hear her saying that. Just in that meeting where somebody's trying to make those arguments and stuff, and she's like, quit while you're ahead.
Yeah.
I can only hope. I can only dream.
Yeah. I've always wanted a Bethesda leak, and I feel like the way that would be nice to hear. The way that you predict what's going to happen with Microsoft is you just say who's been successful there last so and so time period.
Yeah.
And it's just like, did Microsoft completely squander them in the last few years? They're probably getting downsized, if not shit canned.
Yeah. Like Obsidian. Talk about squandering.
Yeah, like how
Obsidian and you bring in Obsidian and Bethesda. How are you not saying you are dropping everything you are working on right now and you are making Fallout New Vegas 2 or whatever?
Enough cashing in on we're the New Vegas people.
Yeah. Time to put the tits to the glass. Like, and same with like, if, you know, fucking Todd Howard's sitting there saying, well, we don't want it. It's just like, I'm your boss and I'm telling you, this is what we're going to do. This is our franchise now. End of story. Jot it down.
She doesn't know a good game if you put it in front of her. Based on what, though? Like...
Well, to be honest, but to be fair, though, neither was Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer was not a gamer either. He was not a gamer, and he was a fucking terrible business person. So if Asha Sharma can at least be a good business person, she's already way ahead of Spencer and Bond. And you know what's funny too? It's like we keep harping on Spencer, but he's not even mentioning that like he had a boss. Her name was Sarah Bond.
Yeah. Spencer is interesting because like he was doing the CEO's job of catching all the flack for the business decisions. But he was there longer than Bond though.
Yeah.
But like why isn't 343 dead yet? The answer is the C-Make.
Yes.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Like, the guillotine is coming, and it's coming fast. That's why they're like... you'll notice in the marketing that they've shaped their act up fucking fast. Are you kidding? They are suddenly marketing this like they're trying to sell a game. And it's like, sure, they've got some questionable decisions, but like, they're putting stuff in there to like... They're extending the olive branch, like, We finally know that, like, yeah, sprint's in the game, but it doesn't really do anything. It's like Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
You barely move faster when you're sprinting.
Yeah. And like a lot of the changes and stuff are like toggleable with like skulls and everything, which hopefully they'll just get rid of the skulls and make it toggleable like in a menu.
Yeah.
But
It's silly. I'm sure it's like a very last minute way to answer the criticisms, but it seems like there is a very drastic shift from the way that Microsoft games were advertised in 2025 and what they've been doing here lately.
Yeah.
They're actually trying to show things that people want to see about these games before they come out.
Yes.
And so like it's in this weird position of almost like it's way more appealing now than it was a year ago. Are you like when they first showed it, it was like, this looks like dog shit. This is it was terrible when they first initially marketed it. And now they're at least showing something that looks interesting. Not good. But it's the same thing. Like I was seeing clips of the Gears of War showcase and they were showing off like destructive level physics. And it's like, yes, that's what you show off.
Yeah.
Action heavy third person game with a lot of like combat and shooting. Yeah, show off your terrain deformation and your level destruction physics.
No. We need the 2 minutes of pre-rendered story. And
we need 5 minutes of the showcase to be dedicated to a guy in a Moon Man costume and really shitty stand up about like corporate greed.
And like all the gameplay needs to be like 5 seconds or less. And it just like jump cut. That's how you sell games.
And one thing I want to end on is that you might see pundits out there pointing out that a lot of Xbox studios, including the ones that are going to get hit in this current reorganization, have struggled to come up with hits. We've seen a lot of games from the Xbox org that have not been profitable. Games like...
Can we say, have any of them been hits?
Forza. Oh, but we're talking about the studios that are about to get downsized.
Well, okay, that language is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If a studio's about to be downsized, of course it didn't have hits. So like that part's not even surprising. But like legitimately, what has Microsoft put out that's been successful?
Forza Horizon. That really has been Reblivion?
Not even. Honestly, like sure it was big in our space, but like it had no sustain. I was looking at the numbers for how well it did compared to the Resident Evil 4 remake. And it's like Resident Evil 4 sustained a larger percentage of its consistent player base than Reblivion. Reblivion's like sub 1,000 players.
Oh yeah.
And then the Resident Evil 4 thing like stays above 20,000. The Resident Evil 4 remake is more successful than a lot of live service games.
I mean, I guess the question is like, what is the monetization model for Reblivion? Was it just make money, like just quick cash grab, or is it to lay the foundation for excitement for future remasters and stuff? I mean, it's either way. I think by either metric, I do think it was successful. I doubt it costs them that much to make. They almost certainly made money off of it. And people are foolishly hyped for Fallout 3 and New Vegas remasters.
I genuinely can't believe I'm seeing rumors of Avowed 2. I can't tell if it was a joke or not. No, they are that fucking stupid. Are you kidding? And like, look at it like this. If you're Obsidian, right, and your boss is going to co-sign whatever you make as long as you say that it's going to go to Game Pass, why wouldn't you announce Avowed 2?
Yeah.
Just go for it. If they're going to fucking pay for it,
Yeah, I don't think Avowed 2 is getting greenlit. I don't see Obsidian working on anything that isn't Fallout at this point. Not with what they're talking about now with the reorganization. And even Satya Nadella saying we want Fallout and Elder Scrolls. I think Todd Howard has lost the argument. Lost the war of being able to keep the franchise under
their roof.
Under their roof at this point. I think it's over.
Like South of Midnight and Keeper, the Hellblade games have never really been huge hits. Kiln, which came out earlier this year, has really not have.
We're listing a bunch of fucking games that nobody asked for that failed to sell. I need to hear this one more time.
Struggle to come up with hits. We've seen a lot of games from the Xbox org that have not been profitable. Games like South of Midnight and Keeper, the Hellblade games have never really been huge hits. Kiln, which came out earlier this year, has really not found a player base. And that's a problem. Don't get me wrong. And also, I think it's...
No, that isn't a problem. That is the problem. But yes, continue.
It's worth noting that like none of these games are like critically acclaimed masterpieces. None of them are 90+ Metacritic games that are winning Game of the Year or nominated for Game of the Year or anything like that.
Man, throwing shade. I was at least gonna say, well, at least South of Midnight was reviewed pretty well by Steam reviewers and stuff. I think it has like a very positive rating, which is better than most other fucking Microsoft games on Steam. It just didn't sell because it's a niche game.
I need him to talk about Starfield.
Man, Jason, you just that was a little vicious there.
I think they were fucked at this point when this video came out. So I think it's not even like he sold them down the river. They were already sold.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's worth noting and hopefully having a little bit of empathy for these studios and the people who work there, because the messaging from above has just changed so much over the last 5 years. And games start development like 4 or 5 years before they actually come out. So when you start a project in 2020 or 2021 and that's under one mandate and suddenly that mandate changes 2 or 3 years later, but it's too late to change course, that can be a problem. And the messaging,
it can be a problem. Unfortunately, there's no room to fuck around here. This is the sunk cost fallacy. You can't just go, well, we were under a different mandate that allowed us to just waste fucking money when we started game development. Well, that's too fucking bad. Like,
a lot of this acquisition spending spree, when some of these projects started getting greenlit and started to enter development, the messaging was not, you must hit X amount of profitability. The messaging was, make good games, help us fill out Game Pass, try to win awards. Of course, don't lose money, break even. But like, this is not a profit play. This is kind of, Game Pass is the North Star.
It's like Phil Spencer had a bunch of friends in Silicon Valley that were like talking about growth phases. And he was like, yeah, this is my growth phase. But it's like a 35-year-old man going, I'm going through second puberty. So I'm gonna get a real deep voice and finally be able to grow a mustache. And it's like, bro, Xbox is not in the growth phase in 2014.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong here. I mean, Xbox's studios, including the ones that are getting shut down, made plenty of their own mistakes and all sorts of production problems, all sorts of cost problems. I mean, there were lots of mistakes made along the way that you could point to. That's my laundry. My laundry is ready. See, I don't cut this stuff out. I record my videos raw. So hope you got that. That's a little inside baseball into the way that I work.
I don't care.
Thank you.
He's so human.
Like
He has laundry
20
just like
seconds.
us.
20 seconds to cut that. It's like he's becoming self-aware.
I need an
a
out
lot
to stop talking shit about these people.
Yeah.
of these studios, they trust me, they made plenty of their own mistakes, but like in a lot of ways they're being punished today for following orders, for listening to what they were told.
Okay, they are,
Okay,
but
hold on.
that's not how this goes. Okay,
Hold
the
on.
issue here is that Phil Spencer was making decisions that would normally lose people their jobs and then not firing them. That, I'm sorry, but this is reaping what you sow. You guys took
Also-
for granted that there was somebody who was going to pay for your bad decisions.
Yeah. Well, it also, like, what you're being told, make good games, win awards. How is that really different from profit-seeking behavior, right? Yeah, I guess it encourages a little bit more riskier moves, but like
The
I
riskier
don't
moves
know.
resulted in like the Outer Worlds too, though.
Yeah, that's that's what's weird about this whole thing is like I don't. I just don't
It sucks
respect
when
these
people.
studios.
Here's the thing: it sucks when people get fired. That's why it's important to call this stuff out before it becomes a problem. Okay?
Yeah.
We've been bitching about Phil Spencer probably since like 2022 in various forms. And nobody wanted to listen to us then. And it's like there's people who'd still have their jobs if they got rid of him sooner. But they didn't.
Yeah.
Because you guys enabled a hype man who didn't know what he was doing. Same thing with Matt Booty, same thing with Sarah Bond. It's not all one person. It is kind of all one person.
Yeah.
But like, you know, people were saying this was a bad idea way before now. And now there's consequences for it.
But please have some empathy.
Few years ago, and that I think is just a shame, and what's happening is going to be pretty brutal. The word bloodbath has been thrown around among people that I talk to who know what's happening.
How many bloodbaths does that make this for Microsoft? I think we're up to like 3 or 4.
I think it's just straight up the purge at this point. Like,
Yeah. This is we're up to Final Destination now.
this is the Red Army killing like half of the NKVD after the death
Yeah.
of Stalin.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad, so stay tuned. I'll be reporting more as I learn more on Bloomberg about who's being affected, how big the scope is. But those 3 studios that I mentioned are just the beginning. There's going to be more. There are a lot of negotiations going on right now. One more thing is that you might...
And this is why Bethesda unionized. Like, I said it when it happened. I'm like, this is the single smartest thing a game company can do when they get bought by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Unionize, collective bargain. I'm not even like a big pro-union person. But like in terms of strategic decisions that you can make in this situation, you got to do that. You got to have that collective bargaining power or this affects you.
Yep.
Because there's no fucking way that the company that released Terran Armada is not affected by this somehow.
Oh shit. I accidentally skipped
Studios trying to find other buyers, like other publishers who might be interested in them. So it's not like nothing has been kind of executed.
That's a funny
just
idea.
yet.
Just like
that is going to happen in
the
a few
rats
weeks.
fleeing the sinking
so
ship.
again, the full picture is not entirely.
Like These companies are looking for buyers. Like, imagine like Obsidian is trying to get bought out. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? After the showing that you've just done, who the fuck is gonna buy you? There's
Well,
a
also, like, who has the money at this point?
yeah.
Who has the money to buy any of these studios?
There's no publisher that's growing. Nobody can
Yeah.
afford you. It's there's a meme where it's like there's this guy, he buys corn futures, they go up a penny, so he buys more corn futures the next day, they go up 2 pennies, so he buys more corn futures, and he keeps doing that over and over until they're worth $100, and then he's like and then he calls his broker and he's like, okay, I'd like to sell my corn futures, and the broker says, to who? You're the corn guy. That's Microsoft. Who's gonna buy you? You went to Microsoft, you took advantage of the fact that you could fuck up and still get paid, and now your studio looks like a fucking lolcow, and you think what? EA is gonna buy you?
Yeah. Embracer, Ubisoft. Who? Your best hope is to be bought out by the Chinese, and I'll be honest. I have news for you. They're divesting as well.
Not only are they divesting as well, but they have way higher standards.
Yeah.
They have basic expectations like you have to make money.
You have to make a game that people want to play. Oh my god. Yeah. Yes, gonna be a lot of unemployed people after this thing.
Yeah, and it's
Those
just
studios
like
aren't good. Which out of all the studios, which ones would get bought out? Like maybe Ninja Theory.
of who's getting let go.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the South of Midnight people, not the Hellblade people.
No. Well, Hellblade is Ninja Theory.
Yeah, but okay.
But they also have like Ninja Gaiden and like other. Well, actually, I don't know if they have Ninja Gaiden.
Yep. The thing is, like, what's Microsoft gonna keep if they go somewhere else?
Yeah. Are they going to keep the IPs?
Because like, did Microsoft keep Hi-Fi Rush when they let Tango GameWorks go? I assume so. That's typically what happens in the industry. So it's like,
yeah,
you're not really buying IPs, you're buying companies, and it's just like, but what's the value in a company that was making games that don't sell?
yeah. I don't know. Maybe they are selling with the IPs. That might be the only way to get rid of them.
The only way to recoup the losses from the Phil Spencer war chest is they have to sell off a bunch of the IPs they've bought. Jesus. So not only was it the bad decisions of Phil Spencer, but now there's the lasting consequences of Microsoft can't even do the EA thing of holding on to the intellectual properties. We're not just losing Obsidian, we're losing the Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
We're losing Avowed.
Good. Ship that shit off to somewhere else. Let the Saudis make money with that.
Let the Saudis lose money with that. I mean, fuck, even like they are entering a period of economic consolidation. The EA deal almost didn't go through because they were like,
yeah,
actually, we kind of can't afford to just sign blank checks for game companies.
Man, the Strait of Hormuz gets shut down, and suddenly the EA buyout isn't happening.
Man,
we will see it happening soon. We will find out more in the next few days and weeks. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of turmoil. And man, it's just so hard to be an Xbox employee right now, to not know what's going on, to have to hear rumors on the internet that are like not entirely true or not secure, not like corroborated or confirmed.
Am I supposed to feel bad for them?
Yeah, well, first off that, and then also, you know, that's kind of like their bosses are supposed to be. This is why you're supposed to have good open communication during events like this, so that they don't have to sit there and speculate and read things on the internet. There's no reason for them not to be. There's no reason for the studio heads not to be telling all of their employees that, hey, we're about to start navigating, like potential buyout, or like
Pete Hines rolls up.
unless
Pete Hines rolls up to Redmond and he's like, "I'm here to buy Bethesda." That would be really funny if like the company they sell is Bethesda. That would be the perfect crescendo. Bethesda just skims the top of Microsoft, dumps Starfield on them, and then leaves to go make Tez 6. Fuck it, Bobby Kotick should just start buying shit from Microsoft.
You're right.
He sold high and he's gonna buy low.
Kanye West should start buying shit from Microsoft.
Fuck it. Dude, if I won $1 billion in the lottery, I'd be like, what should these companies could I buy?
You know what? Snoop Dogg has like his own studio and stuff now. He should start buying out shit from Microsoft.
I hate to say it. No, I don't hate to say it. I love to say it. You should have listened to the Chuds, man. This was warned of. This whole situation. Yeah. It's all downstream of dumb political shit flinging from 2014. This is all Gamergate's fault.
Yeah, kind of.
No, it really is. There's no functional like journalistic apparati in the games industry, which means that there's no effective communication to and from game developers to their customers. So in turn, these game companies are just running completely fucking blind.
Yeah. I mean, they can just, go and read stuff online and everything like that, but...
You would think, right?
That would,
I have people for that.
Yeah. Apparently. Allegedly. Allegedly they read Reddit and everything. They read their Discord, their they're carefully
Todd loves his kittens.
Cultivated. Yeah, they're carefully cultivated cult of kittens.
Just people being like, I heard this studio might be in trouble, which may very well turn out to be true, but is really...
Well, okay, let's be honest.
It should be all of them.
Pick a studio from any major publisher and say they're in trouble. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be correct.
It's just kind of true at this point. Like, there's no way that Bethesda is like happy with their financial situation.
Oh God, no.
Really bad to just be hearing, and really hard to make great games under those conditions. And by the way, if you're wondering, one of the reasons that Xbox has had such a struggle over the last decade making great games is because of a lot of this uncertainty. It's very hard to make great art.
Yeah, no, it's the uncertainty. The uncertainty is what stopped me. It was uncertainty that impacted Avowed.
Yeah. It was uncertainty that impacted
it was
uncertainty that impacted Schedule 1. It was uncertainty that
yeah, the devs they were shaking in their boots, scared the teat was gonna go away.
Bullshit.
They're like a shaky little baby animal that's scared that mama is gonna go away.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
God, under fear of
we hear so much. We hear so much from these people about gamer entitlement. Can we talk about game developer entitlement?
Entitlement, yeah, I know.
Like, holy fuck. The most wealthy, affluent people, all of these people, on average, make more money than us.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm stealing when I file my taxes. I feel like I'm fucking stealing with how much I make. And then I think like, but the average game developer still walks home with more at the end of the week. And then like they're feeling uncertainty that they're going to be able to afford their jobs. No, fuck them. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear how hard your fucking financial situation is when you've been scamming us for the last decade.
Yeah.
You're lucky that I'm not calling for you to go to jail.
Yeah. It's very hard to be sympathetic in these situations when it's like this is literally the bed you all made.
And shutdowns and cancellation and just trying to make games under these conditions. That's not how you make good stuff. All right.
Well, don't worry, they weren't making good stuff before either.
Shit, they were barely making games.
So, yeah. Yeah, can we get a check on the dungeon team for Starfield? What were they working on?
They were uncertain. It was the uncertainty that impacted them. It was the uncertainty that caused Shattered Space to take so fucking long to release.
Yeah. He never left for his laundry, faked it for sympathy.
No, listen, he can afford a few minutes. His clothes aren't going to get musty.
I'm not getting Phil Spencer vibes from Schreier here.
I got fired from Subway for not being trained properly. Why do these people keep getting to fail upwards? Why does someone like Immel get to keep his job? Yeah, that's the thing about the fucking Immel discourse at the end of the day. It's like, why defend this guy? He's way wealthier than you.
Yes.
He makes way more money than you do to not do his job. The real lesson is you should never feel guilty for making the money that you do.
Yep.
God, it's so stupid.
I think
we will find out more soon, and man, just yeah, I don't know what to say. It's gonna be bad.
Well, thank you, Jason, for your insight.
It's gonna be. We're gonna get a lot of live streams out of this. That's all I can say.
2026, the year that we are on the sidelines every Friday, here cheering. We're going to be playing old fucking Xbox. Actually, I might be getting a PlayStation, but...
Yeah. The Year of Obsidian is actually, unironically, being followed by the Year of Obsidian layoffs.
Our guild name is the Obsidian Order. It's a Star Trek reference, though, so it's fine. Yeah, okay. I am excited to hear more. This has been the best news in gaming in a while.
Oh, yeah. I finally have hope for the first time in a long time.
Why do gamers celebrate when games die? Because these fucking shitheads lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? The saltiest part is that Phil Spencer got to keep a ton of money as he left the door.
Oh yeah, no, he should have been walked out in handcuffs.
He should be in jail.
Yeah, the FTC should be investigating him right fucking now. The FTC and the Department of Justice should be investigating his shit right now.
I said this before, and it was like, what would these people go to jail for? And it's like, hey, so there was this company called Nikita that was supposed to be making electric semi-trucks. And what they did was they made a chassis of one and rolled it down a hill and pretended it was driving. And defrauded a bunch of investors. And it's like, does that sound notably different than Game Pass? You could just lie about this stuff, not release the sales figures. And it's like, that guy went to prison over that stunt.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think it would be unreasonable if there was at least an investigation into the Game Pass thing from the government. Are you kidding? Should absolutely be fucking investigated.
Well, especially when it's like what you're seeing right now, the entire like implosion of the industry, like thousands and thousands of people losing their jobs and everything.
as a
Yeah.
direct result of these decisions.
There's got to be some kind of
yeah,
fucking gross negligence going on here.
yeah. There needs to be some accountability. I don't feel like it's right that this is all going to happen and then it's just like, well, that happened.
It shouldn't be normal that you just like regularly let go of 1,000 people at a time, and like that's just part of doing business for you.
Yeah.
They're not seasonal employees. It's not. You don't need extra stalkers for Christmas season at game companies.
Wild. What a time. What a time to be alive.
Japanese studios aren't having this issues. Yet the problems with the Japanese games industry are wildly different. They're not having a good time either, but you know what? It's still way better than what's going on here in the States. My biggest complaint about Japan's game culture is that they've just normalized the concept that, like, yeah, of course you don't own games. Yeah, of course you can't play, like, these old games.
Yeah.
That's just normal. They just, yeah, that's their perspective on it. When Twitter first was doing they added a feature that auto translates tweets, and so like different countries, like Twitter cultures, were interacting with each other for the first time. There was a huge flame war between American and Japanese gaming Twitters over the topic of piracy, because like it's seen as morally onerous in Japan. The like biggest shill for the Nintendo perspective of like why emulation is ontologically evil is like the average opinion in Japan.
Oh.
So, like, that's my biggest complaint about them. But otherwise, like
at least we have Steam. Gaming will be dead when Steam collapses.
Yeah.
When Gabe Newell retires or dies or goes to prison, all three of those seem equally likely right now.
Yeah, like every AAA game, it's over in terms of like your conception of ownership, the standards, the quality, all that. And it will be a funny chain reaction, because it's like Steam getting knocked out will make the user experience so bad for playing whatever Microsoft games on it that like Microsoft will feel the pain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying it right now. If Steam dies and there's nothing comparable to it, I'm done with games. Like, as a hobby, I'm just done.
Yeah,
I might even if Steam died.
But yeah,
I probably would, because how much fucking, I have thousands of dollars worth of Steam games and stuff, right? If I lose that,
well, I mean, that's not going to happen in that sense. No, what'll happen is just like whoever replaces Gabe Newell, if they downgrade the quality of the service, it's just going to be like, you know, it'll be like, I don't know, what's great about Steam to you?
Probably the affordability of it. Just like,
yeah, so
it's the whole package. It really is the whole package. It's the convenience. It probably is
for me. It's the
factor,
it's
right?
the small things of the API. It's every game gets a forum.
Yeah.
Any game that wants it gets workshop.
Yeah.
So if there's a bug with a game from 2008 that's on Steam, you can go on that Steam forum, and there'll be people who are trying to fix it.
Yeah.
That's what that 30% gets you. Is they host the Steam forums, they host the workshop, they've got the discovery feed that's really good. You can look at the store page on any game you like and get recommendations of similar games to it.
Yeah.
Want to know how I found Fury? This happened in like 2017. You know how I found Fury? Went to the Metal Gear Rising store page, looked for similar games. Fury was like the first one. Dude, I do that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I do a lot of that's why my wish list is like 200 games long.
So it's just like, I don't know. Steam's got a long way to fall. So people get like too black-pilled about that. I don't worry about it. And it's just like I've I pirate games, and you know, I'm used to messing with old games that, you know, they're just a folder on your computer.
Yeah.
You don't even have like a Steam integration and making that work. And it's just like, my life would go on without Steam. But like,
Well,
there ain't no fucking way that
betting on that stuff disappearing too. Like it's already getting like prohibitively difficult to pirate and stuff. Like some of the games are just too big.
No, it's not.
Or you're dealing with like updates and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. The update stuff, that's whatever. But it's gonna be like this. You're not gonna interact with like Forza anymore, in that sense, unless like you're really into it. You're really into that series. But like accessing it would be hard. But it's like you're still gonna have indie games.
Yeah.
There's still gonna be a distribution way to do it.
Maybe. It might not be as ideal. That's the other concern too, is that like if that falls apart, if like Steam falls apart, the entire indie scene falls apart too.
Not really.
I mean, I guess there's like GOG.
You don't need a storefront though. The big thing is discoverability.
Well, yeah, that's why you need storefront, like, for the discoverability.
Yeah, but there's other ways to do that. You can use backlogged, like indie gaming Twitter is a big thing. Like there's
yeah, but imagine it's already difficult for game developers to get attention and stuff and enough mass to be able to then be profitable, right? So then you take the consolidated platform that is Steam, break it apart, spread all those people across all these other different platforms and stuff. It becomes unviable to like release games. You'd have to be supporting it across like so many different platforms and stuff like that.
It would be like when the asteroid hits, the like least viable species die, but like crocodiles stick around. So it's just like my Futanari mom fucks me to bed every night. That game, that genre of game where it's like the shitty porn game. Yeah, of course all of those are gonna like basically die and become impossible to like be sustainable as a business model. Yeah, of course. But it's like, I don't buy a world where like Factorio isn't successful without Steam. I don't buy that. Factorio would be successful no matter what.
I don't know. I kind of
people get too black-pilled about the Steam thing. Yeah, acting like who's gonna take over Valve? They're gonna be woke. I don't know. It's like it's the same shit that like social justice warriors would do. It's like sitting around blackpilling all day about like how the mega corporations are gonna infiltrate the slam poetry group.
I've just seen so many companies die from incompetence. It's just it's the safest bet at this point, is to assume at some point in the future Steam will no longer be viable. Like Steam will not be as
but I think it's silly to say that like gaming is gonna stop being like a hobby over it.
I guess I'll buy that. Maybe, hopefully the downfall of Steam would be slow enough that somebody's able to make like a good alternative.
I think I look at it like this. It's a good with the bad situation. You know, you rode high during the good years of Steam. You got to be willing to spend a few years in the post-apocalypse situation where things go to shit. And then the market innovators come along and create the alternative again. Gaming's been there, but fuck, PC gaming's been there before. You want to talk about this? Fucking PC gaming in the 2000s.
Yeah. No, this is all irrelevant. We're gonna have AI that's gonna be making games for us. That's the future.
All right, well,
I'm excited.
it's been fun. I wish we got to play more Jedi Academy. We'll play Battlefront 2 next week.
Nice.
So
Hopefully there'll be more Xbox stuff to watch so that I show up.
you're not interested in the Star Wars streams?
What was the movie that we watched again?
You can't keep doing this to me, man. Finally, the AI version of fucking my Fudanari mom.
In VR.
No, she really loves me in this one. All right, chat. Well, we'll see you same time next week.
Bye.